Well, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are, Chiefs Kingdom. On whatever end of the country is, we are ready for Wildcard football. This is our first go at doing live reaction, so my background's a little bit different. Dan looks pretty normal. How you hanging in there, Mr. Harms?
I'm doing well. We're going to test and see how this works bandwidth-wise, because I am watching it on my computer while I'm doing this instead of the TV over there. If it's not working well, we'll switch over to the TV. I'll make some adjustments, but this is going to be fun, guys. This is not something that we've ever in this scenario. My wife keeps telling me we did something similar before, and I can't remember it for the life of me.
She probably knows best.
She's probably right. I just can't remember, but this is going to be a lot of fun to do. Honestly, I was a little nervous this morning for this, because it's more different than what we've done in the past. But I'm hanging in there. I've got a nice little Christmas ale from Great Lakes Brewing Company that we're going to have. There will be a plethora. I won't say a plethora. That's a lot. A few different beers that I will ingest while we watch this.
Okay, this should be entertaining. At some point where the F-bombs come out, folks, we might have to go behind the members wall. This is a total experiment because I can't do this to Chiefs games because I get a little bit too fired up because in the end I am a Chiefs fan. But I'm drinking Delta Gold coffee, so cheers to Delta and my friends in Portugal.
Nice.
Pretty much am going to be on that most of the day, and maybe we'll have a balance, Daniel.
We'll see. I mean, I've been up for a while, obviously, and with Ryan being a little bit more centralized in the world, Mountain Time. For me, it's East. It's already 1 o'clock, so I have a little bit of a different feel for the day. I've already had a couple of coffees this morning, so I'm good to go.
You're winning. It's all right.
I am until about 9 p.m. when it's 7 for you and I have to stay up. I had to stay up until midnight almost to watch the games last night.
Oh, right.
And by the way, real quickly, I know it's weird to watch these games and realize the Chiefs aren't playing football this postseason. The way to kind of forget a little bit about that was to watch yesterday's football games in the second half. Those games were exactly what you want. Possessions in the fourth quarter that matter. Every single one mattered. And it was so fun to watch both of those football games yesterday and just kind of get lost in what playoff football really means.
I have to admit, I'm enjoying the playoff as well. And folks, again, this is a new stream. This is a new kind of thing. Sitting here in the living room, got cameras and stuff. So just going to play it by ear. I might not be looking at the camera constantly as we go through this, but we're going to have some fun with it. So sorry, Dan, when I'm not looking at you, I'm trying to control the stream here a little bit, and I'm trying to add a couple of things. So
it's all good.
But playoff football, I think from our perspective, especially given the way that we have to watch games, I do feel like this is giving us, at least as analysts, if not as fans, like the type of thing that we want. Personally, for me, and NFL, if you're listening, the best thing about college football playoff is the Skycam view. That's what I record. That's what I watch, so I can see the whole thing live. There are no questions about going back to the all 22 because I get it right there in front of me. They need to do that. There's a little bit on Amazon, but NFL, put a package together so we can stream the Skycam view. That's what we need to have.
Yeah, and honestly, all games should be done in the view of what we see on Amazon. Every single one. That should be. I understand fans might not want to do that, but this is what I want.
Brad, we'll answer some questions as we go along, folks. We're going to try to keep it on this game. Kickoff's done. Jags are taking first possession. I will say this. I think Dan and I are both relieved that they came to the same conclusion about Connor Embry that we did. So I'm glad to see it. Nothing against him. I think his career should go on, but it can't go on here. There's been too much time wasted. I think the shocker, and one that I'll be talking about on Locked On Chiefs tonight, Dan, was Joe Cullen taking interviews. I was not 100% prepared for that. Were you?
I mean, I didn't expect it, but at the end of the day, I actually, I tweeted this out when we saw the report. I don't think it would be the worst thing in the world, outside of some of the lesser position coaches. The Chiefs coaches are on the older side. And I don't think it would be an awful idea to start seeing what other younger, innovative coaches have in store for position groups.
I agree. So, quick start here. I feel like I still don't trust the Jaguars. And just watching them come out, I think they're just going to have to kind of feel their way around it. I don't think they can enforce their will. especially on these early drives against the Buffalo defense, is as weak as it is. But I'm interested to see like how creative they try to get. And the screen to AT is not creative.
Well, I'm going to say that you start off a game with a jet sweep to Parker Washington is how you lose football games.
Right.
Washington's been a fantastic get for them, a fine developmental player. Really good after the catch, at least what he's shown. Tough at the catch point, but jet sweeps are not how you get that done.
Agreed. Here they go, 3rd and 8. Oof. I question some of the packages. Now, I think Jacoby Myers has really found his way down in Jacksonville, but that route, especially the short side of the field, I'm not happy with that decision and that call.
So this is the fun part about watching a game together in 2 different situations. I just saw that throw.
I'm ahead. I'm almost always
so
behind.
Ron, yeah, you usually are, but I'm streaming on my computer, so you're watching it on your TV, right? So there will be a little bit of a delay here, but I'm not going to change anything at all. I have no issue watching it a little bit behind. I honestly don't have an issue with the throw. It was just a little late, in my opinion, because by the time it got to his hands, he could only get 1 foot down. So that's
what I'm saying. That play should have been flipped because you need to give yourself that time for that route to develop and actually get on the outbreak. But again, folks, we'll be answering super chats. I'm not going to be 100% in the chat like I normally am because I'm trying to watch and tell you what I'm seeing here. I'm terrible at play-by-play. I think we're both more color guys, so we're just going to have to play it by ear. Teddy asked, is Cliff the most likely non-tree OC hire because of the pack connection? And I think absolutely not. I don't think the Chiefs have any interest in bringing in Cliff Kingsbury.
It's weird because now I give full respect to Nate Taylor, who obviously works at ESPN now. He's very in touch with the Chiefs organization, but there is not one reporter in Kansas City that knows what they want to do. Okay. There isn't. And if anyone tells you that they do, they're lying. They're fooling themselves. As we've seen, we have not heard a peep from anybody in the organization about interviewing for possible offensive coordinators. Matt Nagy's not coming back, guys. He's not.
No.
If he does, there is something seriously wrong with the front office, with Andy Reid. And then we'll start really questioning it. But his contract is up. And he is going to probably be somewhere else where he wants to actually call plays. So
yeah,
at the end of the day, I don't see Cliff Kingsbury being a guy that comes into Kansas City. I just don't think that meshes well.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like the play action call that you're going to see here in a second, Dan, on 2nd down. I don't like that the point of it is to really free up Shakir. That's as far as I'm concerned, behind the line of scrimmage throws to Khalil Shakir is not what you should be doing. He needs to exploit his side-to-side elusiveness and get downfield across the middle, maybe on outbreaker routes, but behind the line of scrimmage doesn't work for me.
Well, this is part of their offense, right? They want to do those play action passes down the field. And then we've seen they have those release valves in the offense, whether it's Khalil Shakir, whether it's the running backs in the flat. This is how they want to operate. They want the defense to think they're going to stretch the field with whoever it is and then have those situations. So, I understand it, but I also think that it's the way that their wide receivers are constructed, the way you see that.
Well, yeah, I question whether Shakir should have been that guy in that role. I think sometimes they try to buck the trends too much where really your wide receiver should be working downfield. Your running back should be your outlets. Changing that up doesn't really help you that much unless you feel absolutely that you're giving them enough trigger for the defense to come down and ignore them so that you get an unguarded Shakir in the flat. Other than that, I don't think it's that great.
Yeah, I think they trust him one-on-one against somebody, which I understand seeing that too. The problem is that, again, you're behind the sticks and not even if he makes the first guy miss, you're going to have somebody right there in his face. Unless you have that lead blocker, which we've seen them do, pull someone out to lead block for him, which, again, we've seen that a constant against the Chiefs over the past couple of seasons. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense there.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like this question. We're going to take a couple because we have some super chats here. Just off the top of your head, would you consider Surratt from IU? He's one of the guys that I am really intrigued by as a value pick if the D line is out the window and the O line is not available where the Chiefs are picking. I think they have a shot if all the D-line's gone of getting to Fano or Moenoa. So I do think there's some options there, but I like Surratt myself from what I've seen. Do you have a feeling?
I mean, if they're willing to go draft bigger receivers, yeah. But and some of the things you're seeing with him and Fernando Mendoza is he's willing to throw the back shoulder reads and back shoulder throws, which is where he's going to be very comfortable too. He's not going to move his speed down the field. He's going to be a bigger body player. So if they're willing to start doing some of that and taking everything off of Patrick's plate where he has to read the defense and then actually make the throws based on what the defense is doing and not just what these players are really, really good at, then I mean, I'm all for it.
Cool. Okay, so this play coming up, Dan, that you're about to see, this is what I do think Khalil Shakir is great at. And this is getting him involved the way he should be.
Yeah, and again, 1st and 20 after a penalty, you want everyone to think you're going one way, and then you bring it back with Khalil Shakir the other way, much like they did with that play action pass, except it wasn't designed to stretch the field vertically. It was designed to stretch that defense horizontally, right? And you already have them backed off, so you have a little bit more of an advantage where you don't have everyone triggering downhill immediately, and you have space for Shakir to work.
I'm with you there. Teddy, I think we got yours, but I want to make sure. Okay, thank you for your super chat, Teddy. Very much appreciate it. And we're going to go to Perry as well. What do y'all take away from Nate Taylor saying 87 and Hopkins being developers of the wide receiver? Also, would you draft Surratt? Okay, so another for Surratt.
Yeah.
I didn't see what Nate said about that. As far as I understand, Hopkins was not developing anyone. He was not there to impart wisdom. He was there to play. Now, Travis is a whole different story, in my opinion. What do you think?
I think it was more frustration from Hopkins on the part of looking at the room and seeing that there wasn't any development going on. So that's part of coming in as a veteran, right? And seeing how the organization is structured, how the wide receivers are structured. But that goes to the point where Hopkins didn't want to be a player's coach. Right. He didn't want to come in and have to tell the receivers what they're supposed to be doing. He wanted to come in and work. And instead, he felt like it was more on his shoulders to have to teach some of these young guys, right? And that's not what we're supposed to be doing here. You have to if you want veterans in the room to help your offense, take everything off the plate that they need to be able to do. You can't have him teaching Xavier Worthy, these young guys, what they're supposed to be doing, where they're supposed to be, if he's supposed to be out there maximizing his talent, you know?
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And if that's what Nate was getting at, that's exactly the problem. When your star players have to be the ones teaching, that's taking away from them honing in, them spending their time on film, them getting the little subtleties about how they're going to get out of a break to take someone's life away. That's what they should be concentrating on here. Josh Allen breaking the pocket being what Josh Allen is. I just picked him up for my my fantasy postseason. So kudos to my guys out in Lawrence, Kansas for putting that together. I'm sorry y'all let me get him again. So good luck.
So this is an interesting thing. Sorry, I just want to talk about that blitz. Josh Allen looking away from the blitz, right? How do you beat a blitz? You throw to it. You throw to the side. So he did not see that blitz, or he thought that the matchup to the opposite side was in favor of what it was. And that's not typically how you want to beat the blitz. You have to identify that pre-snap. And one thing Anthony Campanelli has done very well is that it's not a great pass rush unit. They've been able to mix up some of their blitzes, and they blitz timely, right? That 1st and 15, you're going to 2nd and 8 only because Josh Allen breaks the pocket there. So I like what we're seeing from Campanelli. He's going to try to make this a very methodical drive for whenever the Bills get the football. I think that's how you have to make this game.
Yeah, I agree with you. And on the other side, yes, you have some significant pass rushers out here. But just knowing that Devin Lloyd's a free agent after this season, his ability to come after the quarterback to then drop, they disguise him very well. And I think he in particular is very good at disguising what his assignment is. And I just wanted to point that out. I don't think there's any way the Chiefs can afford him, but I do love what he does and the ability to be that X chess piece across the middle for the Jacksonville defense.
Yeah, I'm with you. We got lots of stuff going on in the chat here. We don't have anyone helping out at the moment with the spam, but I'm going to keep my eye on it as best that I can. So right there, again, you see Campanelli does a little bit of twist on the right-hand side. It feels like Kincaid may have gotten a little bit held at the line of scrimmage. I didn't see the plays of all the way through, but because Josh Allen's thrown that to a spot, right? and Kincaid looked like he was trying to get out of his break a little bit. It's just out of reach. So those are those little tiny things in the postseason you're not going to get tons of calls on, right? You're not going to get a ton of calls on having all of that issue right there and then being able to actually make those things change.
That's all right. FLDB, appreciate you. I figured you were. That's why we're just kind of doing this out of hand here. So wanted to say thanks. Appreciate you. Teddy, thank you. We're going to get to this one. Thanks for the super chat. Regardless of the Rasheed situation, do you think the lack of offensive production the last 3 years could make them target wide receiver on day one? I don't think so because they've made enough of an investment. I don't think this thing with Rice looks like it's going to shake out. There was an update this morning. I think Xavier has the potential to be I won't say a 1A, but I think Xavier can be a 1B across the league. So I do think they have their two primaries in there. Tyquan will be back. I think Juju returns. So I don't know anything about Rolls or what went on or why he didn't get a little bit more look, but I do feel like they've made investment at the position enough that they don't have to.
Yeah, guys, I'm going to let you know if you didn't hear from or see the tweet from Matt Derrick this morning. I'm going to read it verbatim. So, an Instagram post from an account associated with an ex-girlfriend of Chiefs wide receiver Rasheed Rice detailing allegations of domestic violence by an unnamed person, accompanied with photos, has been deleted. There's been no explanation for the removal of the post as of now. So, I know everyone was very, very quick given his history and then everything that's going on with Rasheed Rice to say that he did this. So let's go ahead and just take a quick step back and realize that's why we haven't talked about it. Okay. Yeah. This was on Wednesday that these came out. These photos came out. This Instagram post came out. It is Sunday and the post is gone. Something has clearly gone on. We don't know what it is. I'm not going to speculate. The only facts that we have are this post was put up on Wednesday. It is now deleted 5 days later. That is a very quick circling up of an event. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah, I'm not going to speculate on what happened, who's at fault here, but I'm just saying there's a reason that I wanted to wait until we got more information. And now you can speculate on your own, but it does not right now appear that this is going to lead to anything. So we'll continue to update as things happen, as more information comes out, and then we'll let you guys know.
Yeah, agreed. And that's honestly why when people are asking us for comment when we don't, that's why. Dan, I did pause my feed for a little bit, so hopefully we're getting closer to being in sync. I have first down here ticking down for Trevor Lawrence.
I'm still looking at the I'm looking at the field view right now of Jacksonville. Then now I'm going to see it there at line of scrimmage.
Okay, 3, 4, 5. Hike.
I got 16 on the play clock. That's close enough. That's close enough. We're good.
Okay, this is the fun part, folks. Watching it live, it depends on what provider you're getting it from. I'm getting it from satellite right now because I don't try to push my bandwidths with streaming at the same time.
Yeah.
I am having a little bit of a problem seeing here, Dan. So I'm going to drop out for a second because I got to prop up my laptop real quick.
Yeah, no problem. You guys, this is one thing that I've never actually done before because I'm not like Ryan talked about, I'm not really a true play-by-play guy. So I kind of want to see what happens and judge based off of that. And so appreciate that, Teddy. I know we're covering up some of the score here at the bottom when we do this, but right now I got 2nd to 7, 7 minutes in the first quarter. Both teams have had the football. Both teams have punted. We got a flag here from the Jacksonville Jaguars, probably a false start. Yep. So there's that. And again, you guys, you're going to see things at different times than I do. So it is what it is. Hopefully we're not, that's one thing why I don't want to do like play-by-play is because everyone's going to see it if you're streaming it, if you're watching on cable, if you're watching on satellite, like there's going to be a lot of different things going on here. So right now it feels like both teams are kind of feeling each other out, seeing how they're going to play. The Bills offense, it does feel like they are going to be asked to methodically take the ball down the field and not get those explosives. We haven't really seen a big explosive play from either team yet to this point. So we'll wait and see what happens there. But both defenses are just trying to, I guess, take away space as best they can, except right here where you got Travis Etienne pretty much alone in the flat, tries to make a guy miss, and then you're going to get 3rd and short situation right here. So and maybe that's more of a decision too, right? If we're trying to see both defenses take away the explosive play, and force the quarterbacks to make it through their reads, find the check down, and make a methodical drive. Maybe that's what we're going to see on offense from both these teams.
Maybe. At least, like I said, in that first quarter, that feeling out period is, I think, what we're seeing here. And I do feel this happened when the Chiefs played both these teams. The Bills know them so much better than the Jaguars do, to be honest. But there's a break by ATN getting through that C gap.
Ooh,
that's
nice
something.
read.
Yeah, and when you find that hole, exploit that. Just keep pounding down there. Make sure that you are taking advantage of it. Folks, if you see a pair of chocolate labs, don't be alarmed. The apocalypse is not here. My dogs are just running around.
Not a problem.
Looks like it was just announced about 15 minutes ago as we kicked off. Matt Nagy also has completed an interview with the Baltimore Ravens. I don't expect him to land there. I don't like the pairing, honestly, with Lamar. I don't feel the creativity that is really there. What do you think?
Maybe they're trying to get away a little bit from the creativity.
Maybe.
I don't know how they feel about Todd Monken, but it feels right now that he's also liable to leave Baltimore, and that's more of just my feeling, not necessarily factual. I don't know how they're going to feel about that. However, who really knows? At the end of the day, I don't really know what Matt Nagy brings to an offense that we haven't already seen in Chicago and in Kansas City. So I think it's more of a functionality standpoint. They want, again, one of those guys who's been around Andy Reid, and kind of see how that feels.
Agreed. Ooh, there's Lawrence right over the middle. Did not see that coming back downhill.
He threw it behind Parker Washington on that inbreaker on the last throw before that interception. So
now that's Thompson. He does have an ability to get the ball. I do like his vision as a player. I believe when he came out, I had him as a guy that I thought was going to be able to produce a lot of turnovers. You can see he's just running that deep middle right there. They're circling right now. He's running like a Tampa 2, really, and just reacts. And that's something that, honestly, at this point in your career, Trevor Lawrence, you ought to know better. That was not a ball that you can afford to just kind of lazily throw over there. Too much arc on it. That need to be drilled right to a spot for that wide receiver in order to complete that pass against that defense. Yeah, smile all you want. That was a mistake, buddy.
I do think Trevor Lawrence, right? Like, this is what he does. He's going to give you some. He's going to give you opportunities because he wants to make those tight window throws. He watched Jordan Love last night. He tried to throw over a cover 2 linebacker sitting. I mean, he nearly completed it too, but he also almost got it picked off. So those are those high variance quarterbacks, and Trevor Lawrence has been one of those. And although he's played better, I think under Liam Cohen, he has a tendency to try to give you one every now and then, especially in game.
It's funny you say that because I feel like he's been talked up so much this season that it's kind of ludicrous. I don't think the conversation around Trevor Lawrence is actually accurate. So, folks, I'm not trying to run down Trevor Lawrence, but truth's the truth, and we're going to see it.
But one of the things that we're going to do is we're not going to be the color commentators on football games. We're not going to tell you everyone's awesome. Like, that's my job. My job is not here to say, oh man, everything he does is, I'm not Tony Romo over here. Like, I'm not going to say that find right there to James Cook in the flat is fantastic from Josh Allen. Like, that's not what I'm going to do, because it was a check down that he was forced to get to in a muddy pocket. And if you watch Josh Allen, if he can't escape the quarterback or the pocket, he then feels like he has to create, right? Like that, he was pocketed very well. He couldn't get out and around it. He couldn't go up and through. They maintained their rush lanes, and it felt like he just did not sit in the pocket. It was clean. He could have just sat there and looked through his progressions, but he didn't.
Yeah. And I honestly feel like right now, today, I feel like Josh is probably the best quarterback without Patrick Mahomes in this postseason run.
Joe Brady, what are we doing on 3rd and 6? Why are we calling that play?
Yeah,
especially a quarterback draw on 3rd and 6.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Josh is good, but we all know that he scrambles best out the side of the pocket, and they're keying on it. If you can't get anything else done, I mean, I know this is going to sound like a broken record, but this is a situation to me where you need to just pull in your 6th offensive lineman or go double tight, which you have enough guys to do, and just get physical with this Jacksonville defense. I don't think they have it to come back for a whole quarter. Like, I would just grind the hell out of them with the run game until you make them submit in the 4th. That's probably what my plan would be.
Yeah, I mean, I think especially if you want to be aggressive in this football game, that 3rd and 6, you want to run the ball, run the ball.
Run the damn
If
ball.
you, yeah, get to fourth and 2, 4th and 3, and then go for it. Let Josh Allen scramble if he has to. But at the end of the day, I'm not trying to sit here and run a quarterback draw on 3rd and 6 because I have Josh Allen.
Right.
Mitigate what he has to do.
Complement. Don't make it a staple because then it loses its effectiveness. If you can key on Josh every single play, that gives the defense less variability than you're ready to give them. Isaac, appreciate you. Thank you for being with us. I know this is a little bit weird and there's other streams you all could be watching, so just want to say cheers to that. And it does look like my source for the score is well ahead of us.
Is well ahead of us. So I know when we put up comments and stuff, it covers that up. It might not be the worst idea.
That's the goal here. Now this question from Steven is great, as the Bills do take a 3-0 lead here. Who would you like to see the Chiefs grab as a wide receiver coach? Preferably someone who actually played wide receiver in the league. I'd love to know what your thoughts are, because mine kind of went out the window a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I don't have a great answer to this, and that's part of my own issue, right? With wanting Connor Embry gone, but also wanting them to have a real wide receiver coach. I'd be looking at Jeremy Maclin myself. Yes, I know he played for Andy Reid, but he is a high school football coach, and he's been around football his entire life, and that's the kind of detail that I honestly, you go watch Jeremy Maclin play. That's the kind of detail I want at the wide receiver position. So, anybody I think who not only has done it, Deshaun Jackson is, I think, actually in college as a coach. You guys correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I know he's been a coach to this point as well. Somebody who I absolutely don't want is Steve Smith, because Steve Smith knows nothing about football. You guys are listening to that guy. He doesn't know anything about what he's doing. So maybe he just has a big mouth and he likes to have a big mouth, but he can't communicate what he wants to do.
No, if you need a clinic and trash talking on the field, bring in Steve Smith. That'll get that taken care of. My plan went out the window a few weeks ago. I can't honestly remember how many it was, but if this got to the point, I was going to tell them that they need to make a hard push for Brian Hartline from Ohio State and bring him back to the NFL. Well, he took a head coaching job. Yeah. So the guy that I absolutely wanted here, that I think would have been epically suited to help Rashee Rice attain greatness, he's off to a head coaching job in the college ranks, and I'm disappointed, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I think that there's going to be also probably somebody in the coaching ranks, either in college or high school, that you can bring up to teach these guys the fundamentals. And the reason I'm going back to a Maclin or a Deshaun Jackson is because they've played his Andy Reid system. Yeah. And if the problem is that you're trying to develop players within the system and they're not necessarily picking it up, give me somebody who played in it and that can communicate, and their only job is to teach, not to play too, like just to teach.
I actually would like to go a different way. There's been honestly a slew of guys that have coached one of two players. And I go back to play on the field, connecting to how they were coached, right? And if we really want to see Patrick Mahomes' game expand, we need to get guys, and there's been a slew of them, coaching changes through the years for both Devontae Adams and Mike Evans have changed quite dramatically. So there's a good group that you could go to about how to play close contact, point of catch football that would give a new dimension to Patrick's game, which I don't think he is the limitation on. I think it is the wide receivers that are the reason that Andy doesn't trust throwing into tight windows, throwing back shoulders consistently, all the things that we'd like to see Patrick add to his game, I think is more on the catchers than it is on the passer.
And yet we've seen Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice just go up and catch footballs. So where's the disconnect? Where is the disconnect? Is it something that they just don't practice and we just kind of see it in actual on the field and they're just instinctually going up to get the football? Or is this more of an actual schematic issue that they don't want to access those throws? They don't want to access those points on the field. If you go watch the Rams game yesterday, the very last drive of the game, everything was open. And then on the last play, Matthew Stafford just said, I'm going to throw this up to Colby Parkinson and see what happens. And he made a fantastic play. At some point, I think you just have to let the talent in these guys speak. And that also comes to them developing their own talent on their own.
Agreed. It's good to have natural ability and instincts that can only be honed to a weapon if you're coached on it. Nobody has that much natural talent that they're going to be able to change their game in the NFL. Everybody's too good to be able to handle that. Folks, welcome in everybody who's joining us here as we're doing our stream. This is our first one, so bear with us. Lighting not so great for me. We're playing catch up. I'm fighting my urge, Dan, to do more play-by-play because I don't like doing play-by-play. I'd rather just have these discussions. So I like where we're going here. But tell me whatever you think I need to be doing that'll make this a little bit easier. 2nd and 1. I still, as Trevor Lawrence backs out, I was just going to say I just don't trust them to actually run the ball enough. I don't like this Jacksonville offense.
I don't mind the Jacksonville offense so much because, but like to your point, the Bills have one of the worst rush defenses in football. Okay. We knew that coming into this football game. The Chiefs knew that coming into the game and they didn't do it. So going away from that is an interesting decision. Even if you're trying to, you figure on these short yardage situations on 1st down, the Jags or the Bills think we're going to run the ball. Well, unless you actually emphasize that and show them that you're willing to do it, you're helping them out. Like you're actively helping them out. So we'll see what happens. They got a 1st down there and a check down to ETN, but now they're going to run the ball to the outside, get some guys.
Yeah.
This is what I wanted to see. This is what I want from them. If you want to attack the outside, that's fine. Get some pullers. That's one thing we didn't see in Kansas City enough. They just pulled Anton Harrison and had him lead for Bishop Tootin. And that's a fast guy. You want to get on the edge. So this is a really fun play where you get a lead block from a tight end and a tackle, get your playmakers in space, man.
And if you guys remember, this is exactly what we talked about with those two players when they were in the draft cycle, is that's what you'd be able to do with them because of the athleticism that gets there. Black Gold, it's a great question, and thanks for the super chat. That was a mistake on running that draw. I don't understand why you do that. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Folks, I'm sorry about all the bots. We are trying to keep up with it. I may go back to this, FLDB. I would appreciate you. And thank you for checking in on us. I know that you're busy with a million things, but I appreciate you. Thank you, Swag. I'm glad you're enjoying this. We're just kind of taking our own time. Maybe we'll change the process as we go through, but right now this is what we can get accomplished. And I think in a pacing where we're not taking away from your enjoyment of the game as well. And Black Gold, you bring up a good point about Pinkston. Obviously, a guy who's played the position and understands the needs. My question becomes, why the hell hasn't he been there so far? What's Andy Reid holding back why Todd Pinkston hasn't been the receivers coach?
Yeah.
If it's just about widening his resume, as Andy always does, to try to get his guys ready for a head coaching gig, okay, fine. But then you're 2 years behind making the realization that you didn't have the right staff. And if he does not become this wide receivers coach, there's no reason for Todd Pinkston to be on this staff because he's not helping the running backs.
Yeah, I'm absolutely with you. And I'm going to kind of pivot here. Appreciate the support, Black and Gold, as always. They just ran the ball 3 straight times after we talked about how they should be running the ball. And they got 10 plus yards on each straight run. That's what we're talking about. But you want to know that the point about this is that it was Bishop Tootin, okay, who I would say is obviously, because of the experience at running back, a marginally better football player than Brashard Smith. But the one thing that they can both do is make cutbacks outside. And that's something that the Chiefs refused to do this year. But this is why you do it. In a game like this, in the postseason, where you want to play action like the Jags do, they want to hit those dig routes over the middle of the field, you have to set that up. How do you set it up? You run the ball. You get these linebackers thinking you're going to attack outside consistently and get them to overcommit downhill, outside, or even up the middle. And then you can hit those counters and you can hit those deep shots over the middle of the field, those intermediate dig routes that you want to hit. And that's what they were able to do. And that's what they're going to be able to do if they consistently do this. So a little bit of misdirection, you motion Brian Thomas from one side to the other. You get it cut back to the opposite side. Like, this is how you run the football against a bad run defense.
Well, in particular, when you motion to strength and you send that wide receiver that was your weak side emphasis across to the strong side, you run counter off the back of that. And the linebackers are already triggering the other direction. You get 3 yards on average just by running that motion. So that should be part of it every single time. And then when they overreact to it, then you cram it straight down their throats because they're not ready to come and take on guard blocks. Joe, appreciate you. And this is maybe part of the lesson that we can hope that the Chiefs can learn from this. I still believe that most likely Patrick Mahomes does not play a full slate next year. I don't think he's ready to be on the field to start week 1. I'm hoping that his rehab goes so well that he's close and that maybe only misses a quarter of the season. But I really do feel someone else has to start at least a minimum of a couple of weeks, up to maybe 8 games. And if that's the case, then you have to be able to run this ball. Because whoever it is, Dan, I don't think that there's going to be any veteran free agent that comes to this team and is able to actually lock it down and put this team on their shoulders the first half of next season.
No, I'm with you. You can't really expect any veteran quarterback unless you're going to wildly overpay for somebody that's out there right now that's going to get money. Like there's no, then that makes no sense either. So like what they're going to have to do is emphasize the run game in training camp, get this offensive line with athletes on the move. They should be, honestly, pin pull should be put into this offense with Josh Simmons and Kingsley Suamataia. You should have both of those guys. And then you have to bring in a blocking tight end. One thing that you're seeing with the Jags right now is that Johnny Munt can block defensive ends enough to keep that to keep them the cutback lanes open. The Chiefs don't have anybody that can do that. So when you have multiple issues in blocking, just down to your tight ends and then offensive line injuries and the scheme itself, we see some of the chinks in the armor. So hopefully they're able to kind of reemphasize that this offseason.
I hope so as well. I like that they tried to run initially. Now you get a pass over the middle to Brian Thomas. This is what is starting to cook against them. And I was just going to bring up one of the Bills free agents that I'm so 50-50 on him, but Epinesa is likely to depart the Bills is what I'm hearing. He's had a penchant to make plays against the Chiefs. I don't know if it's enough against the rest of the league, but as a guy that fits Spag's system and his desire, what would you think of trying to bring him in the offseason?
My problem is that he's a 2.
Yeah.
Just like George Karlaftis, they're both 2. Maybe he's got a little bit more bend. Maybe he's got a little bit more twitch. But predominantly, he's not winning fast enough that it makes a huge difference in that regard. So
I agree.
I mean, he's probably going to be more expensive than the Chiefs want to pay as well. So you guys who join us right now, the Jags just took a 7-0 lead on the a 7-3 lead on the Buffalo Bills. And that's exactly why they're able to do it. We talked about the run game, 3 straight runs of 10 or more yards. They tried to get cute there on that initial play inside the 10-yard line. What was it, like a jet sweep to Brenton Strange or a handoff to Brenton Strange? No. Don't do this. Don't get cute in the red zone. Run your offense. They were able to overcome that, and Trevor Lawrence does a nice job finding Brian Thomas Jr. on a little spot right over the middle of the field. So this is kind of what I expected to happen early on. We'll see what happens when the Bills get the football back. But I believe the Jags are going to do a nice job of mixing this game up, muddying it up where they have to go long drives down the field. And I don't think the Bills are made to do that.
Yeah, I'm with you. Bozzy, sorry if I missed this earlier. Thanks for the super chat. Rice is definitely back. He's not going anywhere. That was never part of it. And as it looks like today, it looks like whatever this allegation is has been taken down and gone away. So that's why we don't comment until we know more about what's real and what isn't. Anybody can say anything on social media. So we generally wait until we get some kind of inclination from either the reporters inside the room or our contacts with the team, or they come out and make a statement. So yes, Rashee Rice will be back with this team. It's not a question, really. And I think FLDB, if you're listening, I am going to reinstate our controls that we had the other night, but I'm going to tune them down so that we can try to get rid of these bots. So I'm just going to go there. Dan, what do you think about the preseason question?
All right, so Kyle, I appreciate this. Should we start taking preseason more seriously after going 0-3? I know we were cooked. No, because the Lions, when they went on winless, they went 4-0 in the preseason. Preseason doesn't matter. It has no impact on what you actually do. This is more of an in-season execution point. Because Andy Reid runs the toughest training camp in the NFL, and because they do what they do in the preseason, this season is not just a culmination of everything that we've seen in the preseason and in training camp. Like that, But their training camp has gotten them ready for regular seasons to win multiple Super Bowls. So I don't want to try to overcorrect things like that work. I think the preseason works. I think that the training camp works. So I don't think any preseason record should ever be an impact or ever give anybody an indication that you're going to lose football games. And we
Ball's
just got
out.
a fumble right there from the Bills' return. It looks like everyone's signal. So we'll wait until what actually happens to see what happens. And we are signaling.
Look for lady with the blonde hair. Looks like Devin
Yep.
Lloyd comes up with it.
Oh, Devin Lloyd's got it. That will be Jags football.
I'm telling you what, this guy just makes plays. He just makes plays. It took him a year or two to get going in the league. Remember when he and the backer from Wyoming were taking the same year, and everyone was like, "Oh, he can't actually play." Yeah, he actually can.
This is a huge thing. Devin Lloyd is a starting, not even just a starting level player. He is a kind of a star this year for that defense, and he just recovered a fumble. But that's how special teams matters, guys. This year, Dave Tobe's special teams were awful. They were disgusting.
They're on vacation.
Why is Devin Lloyd? Yeah, why is Devin Lloyd on special teams? One of their star players is on special teams, is on kickoff.
Yeah,
okay,
it's nuts.
That's buy-in from your players. The Chiefs have done a great job with culture. Don't get me wrong about that. But what Liam Cohen and bringing in everyone that he's done, what James Gladstone has done, this team has a ton of buy-in from the players, and that right there, seeing Devin Lloyd on special teams, is a huge indication of that.
You are not wrong in any way, shape, or form. And I love that. And you know what? I feel bad for Davis here. Every now and then you're going to make a mistake. To have it be in that position, that's difficult. But this is part of the game. And I actually picked the Bills to win this game. And if they don't make some halftime adjustments, I'm not sure that I'm going to be correct.
Yeah, this is it's tough. They brought up Frank Gore Jr. actually because Ty Johnson was hurt for this football game, not going to be able to play. Maybe I'm not saying maybe he should have been returning punts or kicks, but Ray Davis is your backup. I don't think he should be returning kicks in general. I think that you need a more explosive, a faster, quick twitch guy. And now the Jags have the football here inside the 40-yard line. And we're gonna get some interesting. And this is again an opportunity to get cute, right? You get a turnover and you can go take a deep shot. They ran the football. Yes, it was out of shotgun. Yes, it was kind of like a sweep out of shotgun. They got 7 yards or so.
Which is honestly, I think the wider the run out of shotgun, the better, because of the angles that it already has given you. If you're going to run out of shotgun, get to the damn edges. Take advantage of the speed that you have and the run up that you've already built into the formation. I do like that. And I think ATN is a guy that can take advantage of that. 8 yards on first down. I mean, this is a dream, or 7 at least. This is a dream for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, no, exactly. This is what you should be able to do. If you're going to run a shotgun, just limit the need for cutback lanes. Outside zone, this should not happen. Just run a sweep. Nice catch there from Jacoby Myers. Gets right back up. It was not a great throw from Trevor Lawrence. He's coming back to the football there. He's got to dive for that football. But right now, what we are seeing is the inadequacies of the Bills defense specifically. This is a team that was kind of built to beat the Cincinnati Bengals and Patrick Mahomes, those type of teams, right? The ones that want to generate yards after catch, that want to go spot routes over the middle of the field. But specifically for the Chiefs in that regard, the Jags right now, they are executing at all levels of the field. And that's one thing that we saw. That was not a great spot route from Myers there. He got a little tugged by Milano, but you got to be able to make plays in this thing. Right now, what we're seeing is that the Jags are finding ways to get their best playmakers in space against a team that is kind of reeling right now.
Yeah, on their heels to say the least. And honestly, I don't know that Sean McDermott goes anywhere with a first-round loss if that were the way that it happened, but there's got to be something for another guy from Andy's tree that getting over that hump has to be consistent. It has to be every year if you're going to be what they say you're going to be. I think Joey Bosa was an interesting signing, but I worry that McDermott gets tunnel vision on players almost as bad as Andy does. I
don't disagree with that. I disagree with you in you don't know if anything's going to happen. I think he'll get fired if they get bounced in the first round.
You do?
Okay. The team trajectory has consistently been going down. I know they've been making it relatively far in the postseason, but this is what has been happening. If it's not Patrick Mahomes, they haven't. I mean, they've faced Patrick Mahomes pretty much every single year in the postseason, and they've been unable to beat him. Now, if we're talking about other quarterbacks not named Patrick Mahomes, or the Jaguars can just beat the Bills, and it's because their defense, outside of injuries, just isn't built for today's NFL. You have to question Sean McDermott, and it comes down to him. This is his defense, and I think that he will get fired if they don't win this football game.
Well, you may be very well right. One guy who isn't going to get fired is Esapole. Thank you, Stephen, for your question. I think he started to recover a bit. I'm happy with his progression. I don't think he's in the starting mix, unless, Dan, you disagree. I feel like he is a potential swing tackle backup. I do think that's real.
I do too. I think this is something that first game was a little bit of an aberration in my mind. You saw the talent, right? The talent was obvious in that first game that he came in for Wanya Morris, and you could see that on the tape. But the quickness from NFL players, I think they were able to attack him outside a little bit more consistently. But that's where we're going to see him have to utilize his length a little bit better, because he doesn't have the best foot speed. He's not the quickest guy in the world. He is a very large person. So you have to realize how to use your length a little bit better. But the talent is clear, and I do think he's going to be in the running for not just swing tackle backup role, but that third guy that might come in as your extra offensive lineman and be the first guy off the bench.
I'm comfortable there. And that is not to say, as I think I've mentioned a couple of times to people, that is not to say that the Chiefs don't draft somebody. Because especially as rankings fluctuate, and we as analysts and everybody who calls themselves an analyst or runs mock drafts or gives you top 10 lists, we're all catching up to where the teams already are. Their boards are up there. They're doing some micro adjustments, but they are not just discovering players like a lot of us are. So you disagree?
No, not you. This play by the Jags. I don't know why you're diving right there, Trevor. Like, this is, I don't have a problem with the play call to go for it. I said even before the snap they should run the ball here. They had the play, and he's diving. You need to make sure that you get the first down. I don't think he got it.
I'm waiting for that replay.
It's going to be close.
I may have fallen behind you, to tell you the truth.
I just saw the slow replay. He's at the sideline right now. Trevor is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I am behind you. I'm going to have to fix that here in a second. I don't know how that happened, but Bumpa was asking Jamar Taylor or Emmett Johnson mid-round running back pick. What do you think?
If there's something I can tell you guys right now, I have no information on mid-round running backs. I got none. My head is deep into corner and safety, some other places as well.
I'm all over edges and interior defenders and a little bit of tackles so far, folks. My quarterback rankings are pretty much set, but I haven't graded everybody out because there's only about 4 quarterbacks in this class that I'd even draft. So
they did give him a first down. Wow, that the virtual measurement came in and gave him a first down. Said that he was able to lunge far enough. Just you're right. Just that nose of the football, saying he did. I don't know, man.
They're saying his knee didn't hit the ground. That's the only
explanation. Did. It looked like his shin did.
Huh. Interesting. Thanks, Bump. I appreciate you. And thank you, Perry. Would Monken be a good fit? Do you want him in KC? Todd Monken. I think it would bring a little bit of diversity to the run game. I'm not sure if it's something that I'm really looking to add. You?
No, I'm gonna come right back to you, Perry. We do have a challenge here from Sean McDermott. He is seeing what I'm seeing, that the shin was down, at least in my opinion. Now, is that going to be enough to overturn the call on the field with the virtual measurement? I don't know. We don't really. I have never seen to this point somebody challenge a virtual measurement.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens, and hopefully the call is right no matter what, but we'll find out. From what I saw, it looked like the shin came down before the ball crossed the line. But to your point, Perry, I don't think that Monken is a good fit for Kansas City. Because of what Patrick wants to do. And I know that we want to talk about running the football, but Monken would have to fit into Andy Reid's scheme. He's not an Andy Reid scheme fit. So, and realistically, we want to name the Mike McDaniels and the Todd Monken, some of the other players, some of the other coaches that might not fit the scheme specifically. There aren't very many West Coast offensive coordinators out there. The reason that I want a Mike McDaniel, the reason that I would be open to a Todd Monken is because they aren't. They're different ideas, or like someone from the Sean McVay or Kyle Shanahan trees. They bring different ideas, not just Andy Reid's West Coast offense. I want to see different things employed. Realistically speaking, I don't think it's a fit, but I would appreciate seeing him try to bring somebody else that doesn't have his West Coast system on the mind, you know?
I agree with you in several ways, and I will emphasize that if you want some diversity, something new to the game, but you still want fundamentally sound concepts, the Shanahan, I feel, is a little bit farther away. McVay is a West Coast guy. His variation is just different, and he emphasizes different things, but he came up in the West Coast as well. I think anybody from Sean in history is the best match. Now, for the diversity, as you said, I wouldn't mind them seeing an actual passing game coordinator and an actual running game coordinator do different things to enhance the play call in different ways.
Yeah, I'm with you. I forgot that McVay was a West Coast guy because he's been under with Shanahan and with the used to be, you know, the Washington Redskins, the Commanders now. So back then, because they changed their systems to match what RG3 did, and then everyone just kind of went off. So interesting here. I don't have this on, so I can't really tell what they're saying. They're saying the knee was down.
Yeah, they say it has been given back to the Bills.
Okay, that's what I thought. Again, I thought you could right there. His shin's clearly down.
Yeah,
very clearly down. So good job on the Bills to see the same thing that I saw in the replay and challenge that and get the football.
Yeah, good for them. Tracy, thank you. I hope that this is working out the way you guys want. Honestly, I never get to watch anybody else's live streams of football games, so I don't know if we're doing anything similar to anyone else or if we're just out here on a limb, but appreciate you. We're walking the coast getting live updates. Nice. Well done. So that's cheers. Awesome. Put a toe in the water for me. I appreciate it. Anderson, what can we potentially get if we trade Chris Jones? Chris Jones's contract is the big breaks on a deal here. But that's not the case for every team. Some teams have a lot of cap space. And I do think that in terms of value, Chris Jones is still worth a 1+. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's a 1 and a 2 or a 1 and another 1, but I do think a 1 and a 3, a 1 and a 4 is easily within the claiming space here, even with that contract.
I'm going to disagree a little bit. I think you can get a 1 and a 2. I think you can. And it's because of what we've seen from Chris Jones, not just over the year, but this season alone, he was and should have been in contention for All Pro. I know that
Creed Humphrey got yesterday, by the way, folks.
Yes, Creed Humphrey was the only Chief to get All Pro. Not shocking in that regard, but Chris Jones still, when the entirety of the world knows that nobody else on your defense can do anything except for Chris Jones, and he's still winning and still dominating games, that's more than enough. And I think a team that wants to add that player would give you a first and a second.
There's the James Cook I've been looking for. Actually hits that outside, turns it up, and gets downfield. Now, it looks like he's coming up limping a little bit, so we got to be careful there. Hence the reason for Gore Jr.
Yes. All right. I want to see them run a little bit more under center. So this is what I want to see. I actually like Terrell Shivers, number 14 right there. Adds a little bit of blocking element. You know, there's another run from James Cook. Wait. Did you see that, or are you ahead of me now?
I might be ahead of you a little bit now. So
how'd that happen? Yeah, you're way ahead of me because I just saw him limping.
Okay, so I'm pausing again there, trying to sync this stuff up. I will just say this as a small side note. Deion Dawkins is a pain in the butt to play against, and I can't stand the crap that he says before the Chiefs games. He's a hell of a player. Even at his size, getting bigger as he gets older, he can still move really well. So watch this replay in particular if you guys are
absolutely. That's so good. Like you can see he explodes laterally still. He does not look like he should be able to, but he can still get out there. And then he gets 2 blocks. He gets hands on 2 blocks and extends fully, creating that lane for James Cook. That's huge.
Yeah, and you can do that all day long with him. He's a guy that understands all the angles, and I think that's one of the things that with Chiefs having to go so young or journeyman at tackle in particular, limit some of the things you can do when you're in space. There's some natural aspects to Josh Simmons' game, but we got to have a full Josh Simmons, fully engaged focus next year if they want to take a step forward that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And
good ball in front of Josh, barely scrapes over the linebacker's hands. Am I better now?
They just snapped the ball.
Can't win for losing the way I'm going here. So Hanneman, it's like you said, Dan. The teams that run the ball can do anything they want. Go Jags. Andy better be watching Cohen's play calling.
I mean, appreciate that. No, he doesn't care about that right now. He's deep into self scouting. He's probably not even watching this game. If we're being honest with ourselves.
If he has it on, he's going, oh, so what gap did they run through? What was that angle? That's about it.
Oh, all right. We got honestly, Brandon Cooks has 2 catches in this football game already. Kind of an interesting
for you, Dan.
Oh, you're good.
Mama made breakfast.
That's a nice throw. It's a nice throw.
Yeah, just barely.
All right, we got 1st and 10 here. Motioning, actually moving Keon Coleman to the bottom. You bring Brandon Cooks out there as well. It's weird to me to see Brandon Cooks in a Bills uniform, but it gives me shades of Smokey Brown, right? When he was when he was over there. And nice tackle there from Trayvon Walker just absolutely swallows up James Cook trying to make a cutback. If he doesn't make that tackle, who knows what's going to happen.
Okay, see, now I'm behind. This is freaking me out.
I don't understand it.
I don't either. All right. I am unlike Brad Pitt in every Ocean's movie. I'm not going to eat on camera, so I'm going to pause this for a second, and I'll be right back.
All right. Appreciate you, Casey. We have all that. So I'm going to take this away really quickly, you guys. Or Ryan's not going to. He's going to keep it up there so we can still see the score. Let him enjoy his breakfast. And right now, I'm going to do a little bit probably more actual play calling or play-by-play, because when Ryan and I both, we can definitely have conversations and do that. But when it's just me, I feel like I don't bring that much to it.
You do.
What are you doing?
Jump back in between bites. I don't know. I don't want to leave you on a lurcher at a commercial break.
No, just go eat your breakfast.
All right, fine.
Appreciate you, Matt, being here, becoming a member. I'll answer some questions too. Obviously, we have a little bit of a break here with the commercial, but if the Bills lose, do they fire the head coach? Because Chiefs are not in the playoffs. Should they win it all? They should win it all, right? So I don't have this idea that just because the Chiefs are not in the postseason, the Bills should win it all. This team was not very good this year. Their defense is legitimately bad. And outside of Josh Allen and James Cook, their offense isn't very good. So I don't think that they have to win it because the Chiefs aren't in it, but it's going to make a lot of people question things. But I think Sean McDermott should probably lose his job if they lose this game. I'm going to throw to the right-hand side. Keon Coleman wide open. Nice, makes a missed tackle. There you go. This is the Keon that I wanted to see, okay? This is the Keon Coleman that I wanted to see. Not engaged a ton with the Bills this year, but wide open on that right-hand sideline. Let me see what the route is. We got an out release. He just gets forgotten about. Then he makes number 22 miss, and then he's off to the races. So that's what you need. You kind of got to get loose a little bit. So cover 2, they invert that. So they show single high safety, they invert to a cover 2. When you do that, there are mix-ups sometimes with the play. Nice job there from Josh Allen reading that out, seeing he's got a hole along the right-hand side in between the cover 2 safety and that cover 2 nickel who comes, or the cover 2 corner coming down. So that's a nice read from Josh Allen. And then you see Keon Coleman wide open on the right-hand sideline, able to make something happen. That's how you actually have to read it. So as they were showing a replay, it looks like Josh Allen hit his hand on number 64's helmet. Not great. So we'll see how that impacts him the rest of the football game. But that was a great throw, great read, post-snap rotation from Josh Allen. Not a lot of quarterbacks can do that at a high level and still throw with anticipation when he saw that corner come underneath there. So I really like that throw from him as well. We got 2nd down here. inside the 5-yard line. Hand off to James Cook, and they can't get in the end zone. So I would imagine this is going to be a pass, and Josh Allen is not going to throw it. He's going to run it in for a touchdown if I had to. A little bit less. So yeah, like you're saying, John Allen did his hand on one of his buddy's helmets. Tough to watch, but I think you're probably going to see Josh come out here, want to throw the football, quote unquote, want and run it in. So we'll see what happens here. Definitely a lot of wanting to run it in happening all across everywhere. Nice. Oh, look at that. Not even want to run. He just runs it in. So we did call that happening. Touchdown there from the Buffalo Bills. That's what Josh Allen does. Now, that run makes a lot of sense. Oh, did he get hurt a little bit? Slow to get up, guys. But now the Bills have the lead in this football game. So exactly what we figured was going to happen. Josh Allen comes out, does not want to throw the football to anybody, gets in the end zone, touchdown. Basically, Spencer Brown has got 2 guys on him, and he's trying to make the block right there. You got a tight end come across as well. That's something I think the Chiefs need to be able to add this offseason, a blocking tight end, a real, true blocking tight end. But this is the big problem, right? I've seen one of the most, I think, dangerous things that you can put out there on social media and on TV is ever putting a game on one player's shoulders. This week, Ryan Clark of ESPN said that no matter what happens in this game, it will be Josh Allen's fault, win or lose. It will be because of Josh Allen, win, and if they lose, it will be because of Josh Allen. I cannot stress to you how dangerous that line of thinking is. It is disrespectful to every single other player on that football field, regardless of how the team is built. Defense, offense, special teams, coaches, everything. So not only do we have people in the media who will put those kind of things out there with no regard for how it impacts the players and the player you are actually talking about, but how it impacts young football players. A little bit of a tangent here. But if you hear that on ESPN, you're going into your high school football, your pee-wee saying, I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to be the one that has to do everything. That's not a good mindset to have. You want to be able to count on your teammates. Trust your teammates. In situations like 3rd and 6 at the 20-yard line, I don't want to see you have to run for 20 yards or have Josh Allen run the ball in 3rd and 6 because you don't trust your other players to do that. What did we see earlier in this football game? Josh had a run call on 3rd and 6. Didn't agree with that. Makes no sense. You have to trust your other players. So it feels a lot like Sean McDermott, as well as everybody else in this organization, outside of James Cook, doesn't really trust anybody besides Josh Allen to make a play. So that becomes a bit of a problem when we're talking about how Josh Allen and the Bills are going to be treated after this football game, win or lose. Joe, appreciate you being here. Teams can't control this guy's offseason. What they have to do is have more mentors because there are a lot of money driven people who will do whatever to get that bag by all means necessary. I think this is in regards to the Rashee Rice situation. And if you guys have not seen, if you don't know, Matthew Derrick did release a little bit of an update today. I'm going to read it again because not all of you will be watching this on replay. An Instagram post from an account associated with an ex-girlfriend of Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice detailing allegations of domestic violence by an unnamed person accompanied with photos has been deleted. No explanation for the removal of the post has been issued. So we don't know what happened. All we know is that post that was made on Wednesday is now gone. No ifs, ands, or buts. So as of right now, we'll kind of just play it by ear, see what happens. But there's been no statement from the team. There's been no statement from the ex-girlfriend or Rashee Rice. So we'll kind of follow up as that happens here. So Bills now have kicked off to the Jags. And I want to address this really quickly. Josh Allen has never been the problem in their losses. Patrick Mahomes has. Never. Absolutely never. He's never been the problem. Okay? I get what you're saying, Steven, but Josh Allen winning or losing playoff games to the Chiefs has not been his fault. He's been fantastic, like pretty much every time.
It's that defense inability to deal with Patrick, which, hey, I will take that.
Absolutely.
That said, I did catch the replay of him holding that knee on that run.
Yes.
I didn't see any follow-up yet. Have they made any announcement?
I haven't heard because I don't have the game on and I refuse to listen to it.
You're not you don't have the audio going, huh? Okay.
No, I have no audio going. I did see here Josh Allen out of the medical tent and walking back to the bench. So seems like no matter what happens, he's going back out there.
Yeah, he is now on the bench. He looks normal. I have play clock at 8, 7, 6.
I've got 18.
Okay. I'm trying this again, buddy.
You got let
me know when they
10
snap the
seconds
ball.
off. They just snapped it.
Beautiful. We should be close now.
Well, we are close.
So I like this. EPA is not my favorite stat, Steven, but it does give you a relative value quarterback to quarterback. Patrick was running at about 0.6 per game plus early, and then he fell off dramatically after the bye, which is strange to say. To have a plus 69 for the season is a pretty good mark, so it is good to see that. Where do you think Nagy ends up?
I still think he's going to end up in Tennessee, either Tennessee or New York. I think those are the two spots that he goes. But if he goes to New York, I think Steve goes with him. I think that's what happens.
I kind of feel like that as well.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't think he's staying. I just don't.
Nagy is not. I think for Spags, the question is going to be, would he want to go with Nagy as his DC if it is the Giants? If it's Baltimore, I don't think that happens. I think the Giants would be the only way. But I still don't have confirmation that Steve is even interviewed for the Giants role. So I had it last week before Harbaugh. Yeah. I got it. So from Dan's point of view, I do tend to agree. The opposite could be true as well. If Spags does eventually get offered a head coaching job, he definitely needs an offensive coordinator. And I do think Matt Nagy would probably be one of his top choices. Addicted, this is for Dan, so I'm going to come back to that. Now that they're qualified, do you think that Coach Reed would agree to a training camp or regular season hard knocks? He will be high ratings because of Mahomes' rehab. It certainly will. I think that's honestly less of incentive. I don't think they want anybody behind the curtain. Looks like Trevor Lawrence misses. They are going to have to punt this ball away. And I think pressure simulator or otherwise is something that you have to show Trevor Lawrence because it does, I think, speed his clock, whether necessary or not. I think that does actually happen. And I should have corrected this thing. Maybe if I do this. No, it's overriding. So I'm going to have to change that back out. But I wouldn't mind it, Micah, if they were on it. I did like the behind the scenes in the Herms years when they did that. I just don't think Andy wants, and I don't think Clark wants people behind the curtain. So ratings or not, I don't see it happening. The NFL could put pressure on Clark and Andy to accept it, and I think that's about the only way. By the way, folks, if you're new to us or you just joined the stream, if you want Dan's hat or the GOAT's gear, you can get it in the store down below. And we are taking questions. Every super chat gets one, and we will try to address the bulk of the rest of the questions. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. I know I'm a little bit off here as Dan was taking some of these here. And Frankie, what'd you say? I did see send you a message in Discord about Streamlight Elements. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think that's what's going to work right now, and I appreciate you, buddy. I must have missed the Discord announcement. I get trouble getting notifications from Discord. As much as I try to tweak it, it doesn't generally come back for me. So I just probably need to ping you one-on-one. So that said, outside of Hard Knocks, I do think what they give you with the franchise, Micah, is about all they want to give you. And I think the fact that they do the franchise to try to do some of the behind the scenes is so they can say, wait, we're already giving access so that the NFL doesn't push them to be on Hard Knocks. I think that's part of that plan. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's how I see it. Let's see. Combatives, you got another question for Dan as well, so we'll hold on. Does Patrick's ACL affect how much he will be able to do his bootlegs and other runs? Yes, absolutely addicted. It, especially in year one, coming back from the injury, it will definitely affect him. He will be playing with a brace. I guarantee you that. That takes a little bit of getting used to. You have to be able to trust the knee. This is where we talk about with an ACL. You always have a better performance year two after rehab than the initial year. So while Patrick will be back in 26, and I do think he'll be back in time enough to take them on a deep playoff run yet again, I think it's 27 when we will see Patrick back to full capacity physically. Now, that only means physically. If he can settle down and get to the point where they can correct is a hard word, but solidify the tackle play. And I expect Tracy Smith to fully heal. I'm happy. I thought Kingsley Suamataia played well, especially as the season went on. So your interior three are set. If you can settle those tackles so that Patrick has a pocket to become a true pocket passer, I think he can get to his passing performance nearly as much in 26 as he will in 27 when I think he's back to his more mobility-based game. It's just 26 is going to be a transition for him. He will try to push it, and that's what, honestly, I worry about, him pushing it too far to the point where he risks re-injury or new injury. That's where I'm going to be most concerned. Now, as we're getting here, appreciate you, NFL TV. And this is exactly it, Bumpa. Like, you got to be consistent, especially when stuff's working. Don't take yourself out of the mix because you're unhappy with what's going on. That doesn't make any sense at all. In fact, I have a better way to do this. Why don't I just go to here? And there we go. So I think that that's a tendency that all offensive minds come back to, is they have it in their head what they want to do, and then they have their instinctual play call that they do regardless. And when you get to that point, it's about having the discipline to keep coming back to what's working, whether it's what you intended to do or not. And that's part of the problem as well. Let me see if I can re-add this so that nope, that's not going to work. I'm trying to get you guys the information here. And I'm trying not to mess with anything on the fly, but you never quite know. So as I try to do this, it's not going to come to fruition, but we are still 3rd and 1. Looks like the Bills did not make that 3rd and 1 from the position that I'm seeing the spot. Looks like that is going to be a first down. So 2 different spots on it, gave 2 different observations. So let's see what they come back with. I think where they're heading into here, just the battering ram power runs are probably not what I think the Bills need to be doing. They did give them the first down, so it's back to James Cook. And I like what Cook brings pretty much all the time. What I don't like is when they're too predictable with it. Same thing with the Chiefs running game. Now, a little bootleg for Josh. Looks like his knee is absolutely fine. Just dumping it off to the tight end, which is what he needs to do in that situation. The tight end on that drag to the roll outside is there as the relief. So you got to take it when it's there. I don't think they're maximizing enough of Cook. They gave him the ball, but they have to be more aggressive with it. And that's what I'm not liking about what they're doing here with the run game. A, they went away from it again, and B, when they are using it, it's not to exploit a gap. Like, I think you need to pick a spot on the field that you need to run, and you need to hammer that until it blows wide open. That is the goal to really attack, especially if you look at the Jaguars alignment, especially when Josh Allen is to the right-hand side of the defense. I do think they leave the B gap very, very open. They're shading on the inside with the tackle, and it's just too easy to either fold block or just seal and let them hit the gap. And I don't think they're doing enough straightforward downhill running right now.
I think that they're not doing enough, in my opinion, trying to get to the next level. Wash guys down, let them come up field.
Mhm.
and then get to the next level. You want those linemen, because I think that, Jacksonville's got a really good run defense. And so whether that's maybe they don't trust sideline to sideline speed because it feels like they're trying to attack middle of the defense still. They're trying a little bit too hard to, I think to your point, they're trying too hard to do that, to attack in the middle from what I've seen. So I've missed a couple of here. I had to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. But what we're seeing is at least they don't feel like they can get to the edges with James Cook in this defense. So they're trying.
Oh,
Trying
sorry, I
go
meant
up
to
the middle.
change. Meant to change
It's
the
all
view,
good.
not take you out. Sorry, pal.
It's all good. Trying to go up the middle there a little bit too much. And I think you need to do a little bit of misdirection, not necessarily jet sweeps, but bring misdirection into it and then get Cook on the edge. That's where he's going to be most dangerous, I think.
Agreed. That one pass, though, while I was eating to Coleman, I thought was pretty much a gap on the defense. But I do think when you look at the DBs back there, I would start, honestly, to his complaint all season, I would start to look to try to focus on him and see what kind of that mismatch you can get with him, because I do think it's out there for the taking physically. And if that's what it comes down to, I think if you can get them concentrating on defending the pass outside, it will help those inside runs that they're trying to take advantage of now.
Let Keon Coleman be what he is.
Mm-hmm.
Let's stop funneling him into this role of space guy over the middle of the field, stop in the zone and go after him, much like we see in Kansas City. Just let him be what he is. Go throw him down the field, throw the ball down the field, let him make a few plays. That's where he's going to get his confidence up, and that's where you see him best. And to your point, that I did make a note that there was a gap in the defense. They were switching from single high to that two high shell, and you saw the gap in the cover two defense, and Josh did a great job of reading it out and throwing it to Keon. That's something that you're going to have to make sure that they don't keep doing in terms of the Jags. If you do that, Josh Allen's already shown he can beat you in that regard. So you might have to stop doing those post snap rotations as much, or confuse him. Post snap with the too high, but maybe play cover 4 instead of cover 2, so you don't have those gaps on the right hand side.
Yeah, I agree with you. Keep those windows narrow in the area of assignability so that you can come off of it. I personally love showing 4 and playing 6. It's probably my favorite coverage because it's just too deceptive to most quarterbacks unless they're super, super experienced. I love that. Steven asked the question, though, and I don't think we're going to see it right now, but we could see it soon. Shaver's going back to the locker room. Makes me nervous here.
Tough break.
Tush push. I do finally feel like owners are going to ban that. It does feel like they're trying to take some of that out. Do you think I'm crazy?
No, I think it's going to get banned this year. I don't think it should be banned, personally. Just officiate it properly. If you can officiate it properly, I have no issue with it, because if this is my fear is that it's going to extend to running backs being pushed by offensive linemen down the field, because we're saying, well, everyone's just pushing, so that's all they're doing now. So they're going to get that out of the game and bring forward progress to when he starts getting pushed by offensive linemen. And I don't want that at all. I think that's all part of the game.
Yeah, I think that's a fair approximation, because I worry about that slippery slope as well. Now, with Cook picking his way, dipping and dunking inside, I do like that. You get the crosser to Cooks. I mean, pretty good for an 87-year-old man. I'm not going to argue with that. But I think when it comes down to it, here's again where you're playing, much like the Coleman has the physical advantage, Cooks has the experience advantage, where you can give somebody a look and a go and a feel and break it off inside. I think that's something Cooks was always super good at. I don't know what in the world James Cook is all pissed off about, but something's going on.
No, they're looking at this to see if it was incomplete or not. I don't know that it touched the ground, but that's what that they are checking to see if he completed the process of the catch, because he doesn't have full possession of that football. But I don't know if it touches the ground. We're going to find out on this review, because right here it goes into his chest or his stomach, and I don't know if it helped him secure the catch.
Fair.
That's
it did hit the ground, though.
It did touch the ground. It's in his body, and then he's getting his hand underneath it. So I think this stands as a catch based on what I understand of the rule.
Yeah. We will see what they come back with. I don't know that everybody understands what a catch is these days still. So
that's
Angler, nice to see you. Yeah, the whole point is to have some fun, hang out with us for a while. We're just doing this. And quite frankly, it's very loosey-goosey here today.
Yeah.
I don't care much about this game. I'm more interested than I am fired up about it. When we get to the point that I care about who's winning, my language might change. That we might have to put this behind a memory wall. I don't know. Just be prepared for that.
We'll find out. I mean, this is the kind of the test run, right? We're going to see how this works out, how we feel about it, how you guys feel about it. Because we're not like trying to copy what Cole does in his channel. This is a completely different thing. We've been asked to do this by a lot of the members. So this is something we are giving you guys. And if it does come to, you guys like it, but maybe we can get a little bit more colorful with it, we will absolutely put it behind the paywall for the members and have fun that way.
I love that word, colorful. Makes me happy. Now, Tatum, appreciate you. Which free agent running back do you think the Chiefs will go after, not Breece Hall? I'm just pulling the list up myself. I don't have it to put on the screen just because of the way we're operating today. But I know you have mentioned Kenneth Walker multiple times. I agree. I had him over Breece Hall coming out, so I am still undeterred by that. And honestly, I'm about to pull up their stats because I want to see what the mileage has been on the two of them against each other. How are you feeling right now?
I mean, you're going to probably find that Kenneth Walker has fewer miles, but he's had more injuries that keep him out of games. So that is the one drawback. And I think you're still going to have to pay him a good amount. But if the Chiefs are willing to spend in free agency on a running back, I think it's Kenneth Walker over Breece Hall. But I also think that you're going to probably get an archetype of Travis Etienne. He might go in there. We also saw that Rico Dowdle does not want to be in Carolina anymore because he wants a bulk of the carries. I don't know if he's getting bulk of the carries in Kansas City because they overturned it.
They did.
Okay.
So it is third
and
7 coming at you, Joshua. Let's see what they can pull off here. Give me a 3 linebacker alignment. I'm running an outbreaker here, and I'm trying to get it to Shakir probably.
I'm still going over the middle of the field. Like, I'm still attacking the middle of the field. I think you can attack in that part, and that's Josh didn't get it out. I want to see where the rotation is here, and this is why I would love to have the camera view of what we get on Amazon for every football game, because I want to see it. I saw the linebackers go spread out a little bit. You saw the nickel go off to the left a little bit, and you saw the 2 linebackers vacate the middle. There's a gap right there. I want to see if there's a dig somewhere that comes across.
That's a good point. And honestly, back to your previous point about officiating the tush push correctly, that overhead view of the Skycam is exactly what you have to have, because from the linesman's view down the line of scrimmage, it is difficult to see through. If anybody is occluding the view of the ball, you don't know what's happening on the opposite side. So I do like the top-down view for their discretion.
How do you feel about them going for on 4th and 4?
I have no problem with it. You're inside of 2 minutes. Honestly, you need a spark, and if you were able to get the first down to put more points on the board, Prater or not, I feel that's worth the effort here.
Do you think with Cam Little having the best leg in football that maybe you're giving the Jags an easy option right here to get easy points before the half?
Honestly, I mean, it is something to consider, but I'm trying to worry about me and what I can control rather than them.
I was just playing devil's advocate. I would have absolutely gone for it there. I wouldn't have punted this. I'd go for it. Midfield, I don't like this half-assed attempt at, we're going to try and get them to go off sides. I don't like that. Just go for it. Be aggressive. And if you go into half tied, guess what? You're not losing. I don't know. I just don't like it.
I'm going back to Tatum's question here. When I compare the stats, both Kenneth Walker and Breece Hall ran for about the same yardage this year, only about 20 attempts difference. The core difference for me, Kenneth Walker forced 60 missed tackles all on his own, only 40 for Hall. So you see that while Hall had the faster start, he's wearing down a little bit more. Coming out, I believe Hall had more forced missed tackles as well. But now Walker, I think, is kind of ascending and getting that stability back. So I do like that. You're not getting Cook away from anybody. So I'm just looking at the rest of this list. Travis Etienne's playing in this game as well. I would say he has underperformed to this point. I would not pay him. What do you think?
No, I wouldn't pay him a bunch either. If he's willing to come in on like a mid-tier contract, absolutely. Because, the explosiveness, he's a good pass catcher out of the backfield. But at the end of the day, I can get that from Brashard Smith. I don't need that from Travis Etienne. Like, I can get that out of Brashard Smith. So I'm not paying him for that.
I completely agree with you.
This is a
Just
hell of a
looking at
punt.
oh yeah,
I may not have liked the decision to go for it, or just to punt the ball away. But that is a hell of a punt. If you could guarantee me he does that on a 4th and 4 from midfield, okay, I understand going for the punt there.
yeah, absolutely. In terms of other free agents on at the running back position, I don't care about Najee Harris or Austin Eckler. I'm not paying either of them. Dowdle, you mentioned. Chubb's 31, and I don't think he's recovered very well from this last injury. I love Nick Chubb, but I just couldn't do it. Javonte Williams is the guy I was going to ask you about. He's had his moments in Dallas as part of a committee. Certainly, would you be for that?
No. Javonte Williams is too much of what the Chiefs have had over the past couple of years. He is a power back. He has to get going to create something. And I'm looking for a guy who can actually attack outside. He can't stretch outside anymore. He has no explosiveness to do that.
Fair enough. I feel like the inside runs, especially inside zone, needs to be the 2-punch to a 1-2 combo. You know what I mean? Like, you got to hit the speed outside first. Yeah. Speaking of speed, Trevor Lawrence, not known until this year as a scrambling quarterback, but he's taking his P's and Q's from both Josh and Patrick and choosing when to run pretty well, in my opinion. It makes me a little cringe-worthy to see him run because I don't feel he's that athletic, but at least he's doing it at good times. How do you feel about him?
Yeah, I think that Josh Allen set the table for that. Trevor Lawrence, again, I think he's about where Josh Allen is in terms of athleticism. I think he's about there.
Really?
I don't think I think with speed, his ability to make guys miss in space, he's not as physical, obviously, as Allen. That's why he dove on that 4th and 2 instead of running through the guy and getting a first down. But I think athletically, he's just as talented, in my opinion, in that regard. But he hasn't had that timer go off in his head until this year to get out and scramble. I think Liam Cohen has been a huge big part of that. He helped Baker Mayfield do the same thing. He's always been the guy that gets outside the pocket because he thinks he's more athletic than he is. But until last year, you didn't really see him understand to get up into the pocket, not necessarily to just kind of make something happen. So I think Liam Cohen's been a huge driving factor in that.
I like where you're coming from. That makes perfect sense to me. Going to grab a couple more questions here as we're heading into halftime. Dan probably needs a reload beer. I'm definitely going to need a bio break. I do. But we will get there. So, Tatum, I'll keep looking here. See if there's anybody else I can come up with before the live. Thanks for your question, and thanks for the support, pal.
Appreciate you, man.
Ruthless, nice to see you, too. Who would you be surprised the Chiefs overpay in free agency? Mine would be Taylor if they trade Trent.
Good Lord. Get down, dude. You can't fight for that.
Right?
You can't fight for that. There's no chance. Boom.
Can't snap it fast enough. Wasted possession.
I think the defense might have been offside when he snapped the football.
Which gives you one play from the 41-yard line.
Which gives you one play. But to what we were just talking about real quickly before we get to you, Ruthless, Parker Washington has to know what's going on here. You cannot be fighting for extra yards in that situation. You have to catch it, go down, hand the ball to the ref, and get lined up. You absolutely, yes, and you can't, you wasted seconds. You wasted valuable seconds. And if you don't get this, it's because of you.
Yeah, then you botched a pretty good opportunity. I just found exactly what I want, Tatum. I'm going to tell you. Because I do want a combination. I do want Brashard Smith to be the featured outside back. I like what Brian Robinson does. And I would like to see him inside because he can do a bit of both. I think that would be a fun tandem to get. He's going to be a free agent. Again, he's in San Francisco and hasn't been getting playing time. He's well rested. I will say that. So maybe they can make that happen. We'll see.
Yeah, that hit there. From what I just saw, they didn't get the snap off in time. And that's directly on Parker Washington. That's on you. You just maybe cost your team 3 points because you were fighting for extra yards. You got to know game and situation. You have no timeouts. You are over the middle of the field. You cannot do that.
I completely agree with you. This is why the explanations of why some guys don't get contracts or some guys don't get returned to their teams. This is exactly why.
1 second. That's all. It's all it took. But Perry, it's not the point. The right tackle could have gotten to the line. if Parker Washington actually goes down. You would have given him time to get there, like, or at least to have everything lined up. And it's further back too. It's not like right away. So
going back to Ruthless's question, Alontae Taylor, I do like what he does. I don't think Spags is, again, this is all predicated on Spags being here. I don't think Spags is somebody that'd be pounding the table for him. And I think Veach has probably learned his lesson about giving Spags players that Spags doesn't pre-approve. Josh Uche, I miss you. I just want you to know that, buddy.
He's been fine, but
there was so much upside there. South Post on X that
what?
David Montgomery might be available. I have not seen that. Have you?
No,
Montgomery leaving?
They're getting a field goal here.
Whoa!
I didn't hear the explanation, so
I didn't either. And I'm hearing the result from upstairs.
Okay.
If you hear the wife screaming and stuff, you understand what's going on here. She's a few seconds ahead of us as well. I did not think they got that off. Wow.
Interesting. Very weird. We'll see. I didn't. Yeah, that's.
Did it hit? Hit out? Hit out. Oh.
Yeah, he missed it. He hooked it left.
See, Matt Harmon, you're so full of crap. Sorry. I'm reading too much.
What did he say? Let's see it. Let's hear it.
Defending Parker Washington. There are some people, folks, that just have a point to make, whether it makes sense or not, and you can't listen to them. You guys are doing great. Thank you, Carl. Appreciate it. I like the scheme breakdown between what the defense is doing and the offense. Thanks. I mean, honestly, that's what we're trying to do, is just talk through what we normally do. For those of you that are members and see my notes every week, that this is basically what I do, just in verbal form instead of written form. I'm not taking any notes today. We're just free flowing this thing. So I appreciate that. What are your favorite and least favorite uniforms, Steven asked, in the NFL?
I can't even begin to answer this question. I don't pay enough attention to the uniforms to know.
Yeah.
I do love the Chargers powder blues. Maybe that's an unpopular opinion, but I do love those.
That's okay.
There's not a ton out there that I'm just like, yeah, those are awesome. And maybe the most funny enough, the Chargers might have the worst and the best.
The yellows.
Those yellow ones that they have are disgusting.
I'm a mixture. Watching that game last night, to know that the Bears, just like the Chiefs, are still old school and still look the same as they did 30 years ago when I was in the stands in Chicago, that was, I find comfort in that. On the flip side, though, I really like the intricacies of the Seahawks uniforms and the added details there. I feel that's where Nike went correct. And I do like some of Oregon's uniforms, don't get me wrong, but there's just so many and there's just so much going on all of them. I prefer the Seahawks.
That's fair. And Bumpa has a good one here. I do like the Bengals all whites, and my wife and I had an argument about this because it doesn't make any sense. I understand that the black or the white isn't in the Bengals uniform colors. I just like the jerseys. Okay, I just like them.
That's fair. I just don't trust anything all white. No, you should never wear white pants in the NFL, as far as I'm concerned. Ask Mitch Morse.
Okay, so I'm going to address this right now. I'm not blaming the receiver for the right tackle not being set. I'm blaming the receiver for not getting down, having the whistle blow, and the right tackle then knowing it's time to get over there, because you don't know what he's hearing. I also know that when Parker Washington is trying to get more yards, the whistle's not being blown, so the tackle's not trying to get there yet. So yes, all of it comes down to trying to save a half second. I am blaming Parker Washington for probably, again, I have no actual factual evidence, but based on what I know about whistles going off and tackles, people playing to the whistle, I am telling him and to everyone that Parker Washington could have saved them all problem doing that if it would have cost them time, but it didn't.
And it rarely does, honestly. I mean, you have to be heady because you can't just take a knee. You still have to be contacted. So it's about going to a defender at that point because you want to get that clock stop. That's the key to saving it. Free your mind. So Andy is just going to balance a real running game next season. I'm a bit skeptical. You and me both, buddy. But we're trying to find a way to give him the talent in the backfield that he will consider it. And that's honestly what we have to do for Andy Reid, or we have to hope for Andy Reid.
You want to keep going, Wink? Please be my guest, but you can do it somewhere else. Like, please be my guest. Like, I'm telling you what actually happens. And in that situation, you just can't be fighting for yards with no timeouts. You just can't.
Yeah, that's not how it's coached. Who y'all going for? I guess Knicks fan is pulling for the Jags. Honestly, I'm pulling for the Bills. I want them to have some success and get the hell out of my way for the next 10 years. That's what I want.
I would love to see Josh Allen win, but I just think the Jags are a better football team. It scores it otherwise, and we'll see what happens in the second half. But right now, I think outside of some mis-executed plays on the Jags' part, they should be ahead in this football game.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. If Patrick Mahomes was forced to retire because of this injury, who would you like to see run this Chiefs team? Because Josh is my number 2 quarterback in the league.
Yeah. I think I'd probably agree with that.
Yeah.
I think at their obviously when we're talking about peaks, right?
Yeah.
Lamar and Josh are like neck and neck. I think that they are both exceptional throwers of the football, really good athletes. They can make things happen with their legs that a lot of other players can't do. So, and then I would say Joe Burrow is a tier down because
Agreed.
I think what he's been unable to do from a pocket standpoint and creating outside of the pocket is consistently. He's more reliant, I think, on the structure of the offense and getting it to his guys than both Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and then Patrick Mahomes too. So,
yeah, I wouldn't argue with that either. Knicks fan, thanks for the great question. Appreciate you. Always around here. Let's see. Thank you guys for doing this. What would you be able to trade compensation with if the Chiefs traded Rice today, or would he be untradeable with the allegations looming? I don't feel like he's untradeable. I think there would be teams out there, but I do think it is a narrowed field.
there's going to be teams that are skeptical. There's going to be, again, teams that will wait. I think right now there isn't a trade market because everyone's going to be waiting to see what goes on. Like that's the one thing is that we don't really know any information. We just have what was posted, what was deleted, and that's it. We have nothing else concrete in that situation with the Shoe Rice. So there'll be teams that would poke around a trade, but I just don't see right now there's a lot of teams out there that'd be willing to go for a trade at this moment with some things up in the air.
Yep, fair. I don't think it's in the Chiefs' interest right now. If this turns out to be anything, or if there's another incident, maybe it's a situation where you tag and trade when his time comes. I don't know. But for this right now, I don't think he's going anywhere. I am more concerned about those in the fan base that want them to trade Chris Jones and Trent McDuffie. I don't think that can happen. And as much as I do believe that Mike Borgonzi is going to come for a number of Chiefs, both the free agents, but I think Mike would be interested in Chris Jones. I think he would be interested in McDuffie. I think one of those things could happen. And honestly, even with the Bears in the playoffs, the one thing the Bears need is an inside pass rush, and they'd be home free.
Yeah. I'm just the idea of still trading the Stars right now is just an interesting dynamic for me when they don't have a lot of other top talent to help take over for some of that. So I'm skeptical about trades. The only one that I would consider right now is McDuffie because I think that they're going to be able to draft a corner, and they still have some talented guys there. So it's a tough situation to be in when you have questions about scheme, questions about players outside of your stars that can come up, you can develop what's going on with the coaching staff. So there's a lot that's going on in Kansas City right now, but this offseason is going to give us a lot of answers.
That's fair. I want to get to the LaFleur question here. I'm sick of people crying for a running back when they're on the couch. He doesn't like to run the ball, and PFT never retires. We'll still see his prime. We were really bad without him, and that's absolutely true. Thank you, Knicks fan. Casey, do you think it'd be handled if a team chose to forfeit? They will not. you cannot forfeit in the NFL. The league will
Yeah,
not
it's
allow it.
not allowed.
It's not a thing. You will never see that. And there's several people asking about this. Is LaFleur going to get fired after this game? I don't buy it. I think it's very, very close. They've had a lot of success, and quite frankly, he's been able to develop Jordan Love, which I did not see him being a functional NFL quarterback when he came out of the draft. So there's been a lot of development there, and that is on LaFleur. So I think he deserves credit for that. But I have family that are Packers owners, a lot of depth there in terms of like what they hear and what they understand. I think it's 50-50 right now. I don't think I would pull the trigger, but what do you think, Dan?
We got to do the same thing here in Kansas City, right? If you fire Andy Reid, who are you bringing in? Like, who are you going to bring in? And I'm of the opinion that Matt LaFleur has done more than enough to keep his job. However, optics matter. John Harbaugh missed the postseason after losing a bunch of games. He got fired, and he's a Hall of Fame coach. Matt LaFleur is not a Hall of Fame coach. He's not. And an organization that has a lot of youth, a lot of talent, that just traded for Micah Parsons and have no first-round picks over the next 2 years might be in a situation to where, look, we need to find a guy who can win now. And if Matt LaFleur can't do it, we might have to find somebody else that can.
That's fair. I honestly felt like if it was going to happen, I probably would have woken up to the news this morning. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're still deliberating here. That could be the case.
They already had a meeting scheduled for after the game. Like they were,
right.
From what I understand, the coach and the organization, we're going to talk about regardless after the game about contract extension stuff. So maybe we're going to end up seeing more of you have a prove it year.
Yeah.
Which I would not be okay with, but
yeah. Also known as a lame duck year, which doesn't help you bring along what you're doing. Angler, Dan, I saw your Bleacher Report grades. Any interest in Jolie from NC State? I don't know him.
Oh, yeah, Justin Jolly, NC State. I have his report going up after this. So I've done his report already. They will go live on the website probably after next week. Our reports are due on Friday, and they'll be edited and put back up. So let me pull up my grades here really quickly. I have him as my tight end 6, just behind Eli Reardon. Still a 3rd-round grade on him. Very smooth player. No, not really an explosive athlete. Very good ball skills. Not the best blocker. More of a move blocker. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't have an issue if the Chiefs brought him in. I don't see a ton of physical upside in the NFL for Jolly. I don't see that.
Fair enough. Is Sadiq your number 1?
Yeah, he is. He's my only guy with a 1st-round grade.
Okay. Have you done Stowers?
I have not done his report yet, but I have his grade in there.
Yeah. Okay.
It'll change after I do his report, but it's not a good grade. It's
not a good grade. Draftable or no?
Yeah, he's got a 4th-round grade, but
gotcha. I've only seen some things out of the corner of my eyes, so that's why I ask. I'm probably, honestly, at this point, I'm not going to watch tight ends this year. Dan, you have this on lock. I don't need to do that. So
yeah,
you just tell me who we should be drafting, and I'm with you.
Sorry, I just saw something. I wanted to make sure it wasn't me. But tight ends aren't like a high end group this year. There's some talent there. I'm probably going to end up dropping Jack Andrews, who has been my tight end 2 for most of the season. Just have not been a huge fan of what I've seen from him this year. And I like Max Clare quite a bit. Eli Reardon is interesting. Again, a big 6'6", 6'7" tight end, a guy who was predominantly a blocker for Notre Dame, but he's been much better this year as a weapon. The guy who has the receiving traits that you're looking for to replace Travis Kelce is Michael Trigg out of Baylor. Like, he's a full-blown receiver, like ball skills, all that fun stuff. So
he's pretty light, right? He doesn't block.
He is the worst blocker that I have watched to this point.
Gotcha.
Like the absolute worst. Technique, effort. He's legitimately terrible.
Fair. So speaking, asked, bigger rivalry, Matt LaFleur, Ben Johnson, or Dan Harms and Jeff Schwartz?
I don't have a rivalry with Jeff Schwartz. He was just an
He's just a
asshole.
dude.
Like
He's
he
just a
was
dude on
just,
X.
yeah, like there's no rivalry there, but clearly LaFleur and Johnson have a gigantic rivalry. And I love that Ben Johnson was able to kind of like strut his stuff after that. Like, because he came into the offseason saying he likes to beat Matt LaFleur. Like he wants to keep doing that. And he got to keep doing that. I think that's fun.
Yeah, I agree. And LaFleur looked like he really wanted to engage after that handshake and didn't get the
Ben said, nah.
opportunity.
Yeah, Ben said, nah,
Yeah,
buddy, go away.
piss off, dude. I'm going to enjoy this. And I will say this. I'm a Caleb fan.
Yeah.
He has, I think, been dealt a much rougher deal coming into this than, say, Jane Daniels has been, or even, honestly, the kid in New England that I keep forgetting his name.
Drake May.
Drake May. But I feel like Caleb can see the upside now with Johnson. And he still made some mistakes last night. I think what we're going to see over this next week, and if they make another round over the next few, is maturation by fire, Caleb Williams. And I'm looking forward to that. And I think that pairing will only get tougher.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what happens because Caleb has always had some of the most talent we've ever seen in the quarterback position, but you got to figure out how to hone it, right? And I think that Ben Johnson's the guy to do that.
I agree. I like where it's going. Perry, thank you for the super chat. Has NIL transfer portal weakened the draft pool? I don't think so. I don't think this quarterback class in particular was that great in the first place. Now I'm hearing that maybe more is not going to come out and it's going to make it even worse, in which case I think Chambliss is probably your number 2 QB at this point. I don't have final grades on any of the quarterbacks, but I've watched them all at this point, at least the top 8 or 9. Where do you rise in maybe non-quarterbacks? What do you think?
I think to an extent it will have an impact on every draft class, but guys are talented, man. Like at the end of the day, most of them are going to go to the draft when they get the opportunity to do so. Juniors and seniors, redshirt seniors, all that fun stuff. They're gonna go to the draft. Like you're still seeing juniors come out. So I don't think it's gotten to the point where it's weakening it because they're fine staying in college and making money. The good players go to the NFL. At the end of the day, that's what happens. They want to get out there as soon as they can, and I think that's going to maintain its impact throughout the draft cycles for a good while still.
I think honestly, one of the things that people have been giving me a lot of hell about the last couple of mock drafts I've done is I really do believe that a quarterback draft choice could be in the Chiefs' future. And I keep coming back to an underrated, at least on the mock machines, Carson Beck. And after that performance the other night, do you have a feel he'll be the first guy in, I think, if I read it right, 30 some odd years to take 2 college programs to a championship game?
Yeah. Miami didn't get there because of Carson Beck. So, and I don't think Georgia got there because, yeah, well, that's all I'm saying. Like, let's be real here. But we have the game back on, you guys. Khalil Shakir just converted a 3rd and 8 or 3rd and 7, and then just creates a big old play over the middle of the field. Right now, it is funnel through Khalil Shakir for Josh Allen and the Bills. That is exactly what they have to do. If you don't have Tyrell Shavers, it looks like he's back out there right now, so good for them. Again, nice little bender back outside, back inside. You have an inside leverage on that DB. Or the linebacker, take outside initially, make him think he's going with you, right? Widening that underneath player and then attacking back over the middle of the field, creating that space. So nice route there from Khalil Shakir.
Carson wanted to know where you see Sadiq versus Loveland and Warren from this class, and then the same thing with Jeremiah Love compared to Gibbs and Gentry and Bijan.
All right, so Colston Loveland would be the guy. He was my number 1 tight end last year. He would be in the tier above both Kenyon Sadiq and Tyler Warren. I think that Tyler Warren and Kenyon Sadiq are probably graded the same for me. Will have different impacts in the NFL. Tyler Warren's big, right? He is a big player. Sadiq blocks like he's big. Whew, boy, that was a hell of a hit that James Cook just took in the flat there, bending over on his neck. But Sadiq blocks way bigger than he is. He's probably going to come in under 240 pounds at the combine. He's probably around 6'3". So we're talking about a guy who is smaller and has a lot of impact as a blocker in college because of the way he understands leverage and effort, pure unadulterated effort. He just gets after it. So I was not the biggest fan of Warren. I thought he was a bit gimmicky. I think he's been a bit gimmicky in Indianapolis. However, I think size-wise, he gives him an edge over Sadiq. And to your point about running backs, Gibbs, Bijan would be clear in a way above Jeremiah Love. Not saying Jeremiah Love is not a good player, but I would have Jeremiah Love over Ashton Genty as well. I don't see Genty in the tier of either of those running backs.
Fair enough. Let's see. Who do y'all have as the best QB in this draft? It's Mendoza. It's not close.
Nope.
And unfortunately for the Chiefs being in this position, Moore was going to give them a better chance to get a top edge rusher or DI. If Moore doesn't come out, Chambliss is not going to push up into the top 10, despite what I think is a rise. I don't think Simpson should have even come out, to tell you the truth. A lot of people are calling him QB4. I don't see it there. I don't think he's mature enough. I don't think he knows what he's doing enough. I think this quarterback class is very, very light on talent.
I think he's extremely talented. But Mendoza is the best guy. And watching him make decisions is why not just their offense is good, but why he's going to be a really successful quarterback in the NFL. He reads defenses very, very well, post snap, and he places the ball where he wants to, where his guys make plays. Like that's the big thing here. And to your point, Chiefs, Knicks fan, we're going to be a little bit behind because we're watching it together. And if you guys are ahead, I'm sorry. Like that's just how it's going to be.
Yeah. But then you can enjoy the play, and we'll give you the breakdown after it. So we are coordinating across multiple platforms here. And again, a little rounded off veer on the inside run. I just don't like that. I don't feel that wasted effort laterally really helps you in that situation. If you're going to go lateral and get outside.
It feels like they're just trying to be methodical, which I don't have an issue with, but I think you got to start attacking. It's 3rd and 5. You've already converted 2 third downs on this drive. How often can you keep getting third downs? And if the point is just to get to 4th down and short, fine. I got no issue with that.
Yeah, fair enough. Any interest in Montgomery if he is let go by Detroit? I have a feeling that that's probably unlikely, but maybe I'm wrong.
If you're not bringing back Kareem Hunt and David Montgomery will take a lesser deal, sure.
Yeah.
But David Montgomery probably still wants a pretty nice contract because he's showing well. He's playing well. He's a great pass protector. So I don't think he's going to be for pennies on the dollar. If you had to give me one Kareem Hunt or David Montgomery, I'm taking Kareem Hunt today, tomorrow, and every day.
Yeah. Okay. I just don't.
Based on money.
Based on money for sure. I'm trying to find his contract, Montgomery. I will do that here shortly.
And we got a completion underneath there to Khalil Shakir, and it's going to be 4th and 4. So ended up getting that false start, and they're going to go kick a field goal now and trying to go up 6 against the Jags. So that's one of those things where you try to flood the left-hand side. You get players. It's like those timing releases or those delayed releases where you have receivers try to take away the defenders off the field. You guys go upfield. We're going to take Khalil Shakir and run them underneath the coverage and try and create space for him to work. And it just didn't work for the Bills to get that first down.
Yeah, I just don't see how the Lions are going to release David Montgomery. He has 5.4 cap. I'm sorry, base salary next year, 8 on the cap. If they were to do that, they get 3.5 in savings, but it costs them almost $5 million in dead money. So from a franchise point of view, that it doesn't do you any good. If you did a post June 1, you're still out $2.5 million dead money versus 6 in savings. Maybe that makes a difference, but
and to your point, like what's the net win here? You get a couple $1 million back, but you lose your running back 2 or your 1B. I don't think that's worth it.
And I think the 1B status is a significant difference there because it's different than having a second running back. It's a guy that should Jahmyr Gibbs pull a hamstring inside of a game, you have another guy that can be your primary back. You're not degrading your entire backfield.
I just don't think they're going to trade him either. I don't know. I don't know what you're going to get for David Montgomery in a trade for a 29-year-old running back, 5th, 6th round pick. again, what value are you getting from a trade? I don't see it.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. He's worth more on the field than he is in what he'll get in compensation. And thank you, Knicks fan, for always being here and supporting us. Very much appreciate you. Angler was talking about Montgomery. Okay. If they do, well,
I mean, if he wants a trade, maybe you don't have a choice. But
right.
I mean, does he have any leverage? No.
You're back.
Hi, Addie.
Hey, sweetie. Well, we got a crazy haired child over here.
Make it nuts. I've been working and just saw this. Okay, well, Nevis, I'm glad you made it. Appreciate you.
Here's a question. No, here's a question.
How Purse on your radar for the Chiefs? If so,
Can you do me a favor? Remember, if you see any red, hit the space bar.
I don't necessarily think he's a better version of Tyquan. I would take umbrage with that. I think last week that you saw him have to adjust to his body control is not what Tyquan's is, in my opinion.
Oh, I completely disagree.
I don't like it. I think he gets to a point where he can't rotate his neck as much, so he has to turn his whole upper torso. I think that slows him significantly at the catch point when he has to look behind him. I think there's a couple of things going on there.
Alec Pierce has been, and this year, maybe the best catch point receiver in the NFL, specifically down the field. Adjusting his body, athletic. So I completely disagree with you on that one. The problem for me is that he's going to command $20+ million. Absolutely not. I'm not doing it.
You really think he will? Oh, I don't.
I think he's going to. I really do. I think someone is going to massively overpay Alec Pierce, who is, again, I talk about him and Nico Collins in the same vein. Guys that were athletic, had a ton of upside coming out, but needed development. And both of them have gotten some real development. And Alec is maybe the Colts actually pay him instead of Michael Pittman. They might move on from Pittman this offseason.
Oh, really?
And he is not Gabe Davis, Nick. He's not Gabe Davis at all. I take umbrage with that after watching him this year. So I think that he's going to get paid a lot of money, and most of it is deserving. I think for the most part, receivers will get overpaid in free agency, specifically because free agent markets are dwindling in terms of top talent. So I think we'll see that, but I don't think he is on the Chiefs' radar at all.
I wouldn't think so either, just because of his game. But I will say this: I loved him coming out, and he is on the younger side. He's 25, I believe, just turned. So he's a young 25 at this point. So he's worth the investment, certainly. At $20+ million, I don't see that, but
no,
somebody is willing to part with their money. It just ain't gonna be me.
No, absolutely not. This is what Parker Washington has been doing for the Jags, really post-bye. He's able to use that stack formation, just stop underneath and then make a guy miss. This is what he has been doing consistently. And again, when you're using Brian Thomas Jr. to stack with anybody else, you are creating separation just with his speed. So especially when you have those stack bunches, you get that cushion from the guy down the field, and then you're able to work in that space. So it's a really nice job with the scheme. And then Jacoby Myers absolutely decleated a Buffalo Bill on a block. That is how you run block, guys. This is what I want in Kansas City. This is why I say a receiver on day 2 or 3 needs to happen. Someone that can block. Look at him just decleat this guy. Watch this block. Woo, boy. That's how you play.
Reminds me of Dwayne Bowe.
That is a hell of a play. I'm actually a little surprised they didn't call that blindside block, because
that's what I was
lateral.
Just thinking. I got to see it again. See, now I'm going to throw myself off even more. Yeah, that's pretty epic.
Man, that's a hell of a block. And I think they're gonna score on this drive just because of that. It gives you so much juice when you see something like that. That was a bad throw that's a hospital ball from Trevor to Brenton Strange. That's something you don't want to see. So maybe not. Maybe I'm just in the moment here with seeing stuff like that. That's just a bad ball.
That's the same thing I was talking about earlier. It like putting too much air on there when you just need to get the ball there on a rope. His selection of velocity, I have always questioned.
This is a huge difference in the top tier quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes and Trevor Lawrence. that defender has outside leverage. You need to throw that inside and allow Brenton Strange to stop and work back to the football into space. That's what Patrick and Travis Kelce have done for so long, and it's why he's been so great. And why are we running a draw on 2nd and 10? Stop getting cute in the red zone. Run your damn offense.
Ooh, Lawrence jams his neck pretty good into the ground here. And Swag, you're not wrong about Xavier Worthy, but Xavier Worthy is not here to block. He is not a blocking wide receiver. He doesn't have the mass for that. Neither was Deshaun Jackson. That's not their role. Juju, even Tyquan, who's skinny but has the length there. Rashee Rice in particular. Royals will have to do that. Like, I love Juju and what he brings to the table because of this point, because you do have guys on the wide receiver room that are not going to be those downfield blockers. Oh, that is a hell of a tip. Way to go. White is not done. Davis, still alive and well.
You're like, it's funny how your stream is just, or your stuff is all over the place with me. Like about 5-6 seconds ahead of me, but that was a hell of a tip.
Okay, I'm pausing for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 count. Okay, maybe we'll be close.
So I just watched the replay.
Okay,
is he just late on that throw?
A little bit.
He's late.
I'm gonna go here. Since I'm all screwed up anyway, I'm just gonna go back and rewatch it. Yep, he takes a hitch when he didn't have to. Get his back foot and put it out.
I was about to say, you gotta hit the seam routes. You cannot be late, guys, especially in the red zone. You don't have enough space to be late. You've got to be on time. So,
and honestly, the read should come at 10 to 12 yards. That is your last second to make a choice. And he was open. Had that ball come out without that hitch, that's a touchdown.
Exactly. And those are the difference makers, right? And we talk about talented quarterbacks that are ascending and getting better, and the guys that know where the ball needs to be placed. So yeah, Chiefs Nixon right here. He's right. He threw it late. So this is where you have to know. The difference is that at least Trevor threw the seam ball. Patrick doesn't throw seam balls. Maybe that's not him. I don't know. Maybe that's more about the offense. Maybe they just don't run enough of them. But I want to see more seam throws in this offense.
Oh, God, yeah. I certainly do. Let's go back a little bit to reigning. With the Chiefs' current state, say we got Cliff at OC for the sake of it. Which skill position would you think would yield the most immediate returns? I don't think Cliff Kingsbury enhances what you do with the tight ends at all. You might get a slight bump depending on the position coach at the running back position, but I think it's going to be the schematic and maybe even releases for the wide receivers. I mean, maybe they can pop in and out of routes like Avery's doing, but you never know.
Yeah, that's all I can really think about is that. Are you okay?
She stubbed her toe.
I think so. I think she hit one of the wheels. But it's the wide receivers. It's nobody else really.
Now that's if it's Cliff. If somebody comes in that's outside the tree in particular that isn't trying to throw 50 times a game, I think that could easily change. I want to see someone come in and enhance the run game, but you guys know I'm a broken record on that one. Anyone hear about any OC interviews scheduled for the Chiefs? I don't have anything confirmed at all. A lot of whispers here and there, but most of the people that I know are not talking about people coming to the Chiefs. They're talking about people leaving the Chiefs.
Yep. We have not heard a peep about any kind of offensive coordinator interviews, and it's kind of baffling at this point.
What's your thought on Jordan Tyson? He's there since you had a receiver on day 2. What if Tyson is there on day 1? At 9, I've only seen a little bit of him, but I don't see a top 10 pick in Jordan Tyson.
And again, it would be dependent upon the board. Okay. And if you want to use Jordan Tyson as a true X, okay, I'm on board. I'm on board drafting him at 9 if you don't have a good decision on defense. Like if you just don't have one, I am okay with it as long as you use him as the X receiver that he is. But if you are going to try to force him to be what Chris Connolly was in this offense, I'm going to lose my ever-loving mind.
I don't blame you a bit. And I appreciate you saying it so I don't have to. I love these live streams. I know it's a lot of work, man. It's fun to listen. Please do more next year. Thanks, Swag. We definitely will. We intend to do this through the postseason. So, especially since we haven't had any hardcore hiccups here yet today, right? I'm feeling pretty good about it.
I feel like we've done a pretty good job. We're not trying to make sure that every single play is broken down. Like, that's not what I want to do. But to Ryan's point about the run game and the Bills, they're still just running the ball up the middle in the A gaps, and it's just not paying you any dividends. So they're doing what the Chiefs do with their wide receiver screens. They are making it more of an extension of the run game. They're taking it to clear secure and trying to get bigger plays that way, which I don't hate, but it can't be a fundamental extension of your running game.
Tatum, thank you for coming to Worthy's defense. What did I miss?
You just got a sack from Josh Allen Hines Allen, sorry, on Josh Allen. Funny enough, Josh Allen on Josh Allen crime. Josh is looking to his left, trying to get the tight end or Brandon Cooks there, but none of them open up, and he holds it just a little bit too long. Can't get to clear secure on the backside, and then we get the chase down from Hines Allen.
Dude, I'm like 2 plays behind. That looked like a D twist.
What? Oh, it's because you stopped to watch the replay. That's what you did.
Yeah. That looked like a twist where he came back on the inside, which I do feel that he rounds into the interior of the offensive line pretty well. Allen does. That's one of my favorite aspects about his game.
What the?
That was well short. Like, that looked like it was supposed to be a stop
intentional grounding. There's nobody there, and I get it's 4th and 20, but like that should be intentional grounding.
Tatum said, "Thanks for coming to Worthy's defense. He can be a Deshaun Jackson or Devontae Smith." Yeah, that's exactly it. There's just certain physical limitations that's not why he's on this roster. I do agree with that. Knicks fan. I love that you guys are doing this. It really puts a different perspective on watching the game. Thanks. Well, thank you for saying that, and thank you for being here. We're just kind of limping along today, all just hanging out, and hopefully this will grow as we go forward, because it is fun when we don't have the Chiefs on the line. That's the big difference for me.
Absolutely. We don't want to be in here getting emotional about the Chiefs while we're trying to talk about it and write down notes. Like, it makes it a lot easier for us to be able to just kind of talk. We get commercial breaks to answer some questions. And at the end of the day, I just like watching football and talking about football, even if it's not the Chiefs. And I saw someone in here saying diehard Chiefs fans streaming another team's game. I'm confused. We're here to talk about ball. Like, I don't.
Yeah, we're football analysts that happen to be Chiefs fans.
Yeah, like it's interesting. So this is interesting to me too. I'm gonna just put this up here. He's not. He's not bump up, and he would not lose in a race to Tyquan Thornton.
No.
So you're seeing the effects of an ankle injury on a player. That's what you're seeing this year. That's it. It's pretty simple.
The only other thing that I will say is that Tyquan has more mass to beat a press physically and just run through it.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing you see on the field sometimes, that there is, a physical release point where Xavier has to get a little bit past that. I'm not sure why StreamYard's giving me messages, but it's giving me messages. So,
that's fine. No big deal.
Ignore me for a minute. I like this question. Merit for DC if Spags is gone. I like the concept, Nick. Dan, your thoughts. I'm pretty sure you're going to say what I'm going to say.
I mean, I don't know if he's ready to be a head a coordinator yet. I don't know enough about what he would want to run. Like, what scheme is he going to run? Is he just going to do the same stuff that Spags has right now, because that's what he's been under for the last however many years? I don't know. So I don't know enough about his behind the scenes defensive mind, what he schematically he wants to run. And he is an excellent DB coach. Like, he absolutely is. He's a fantastic one. So, I mean, I wouldn't be against it, but again, outside ideas are not a bad thing.
Agreed.
I want to see Merritt succeed. I want to see all these guys succeed. But I also think that sometimes Andy Reid Steve Spagnuolo see their guys and they're just like, they can do it. And sometimes they can't do it.
That's the bottom line. And now Merritt has had opportunities before, and I do think he is ready to be a DC. I, too, don't know the exact scheme that he would run. But I do feel like from the reports, he stayed in Kansas City and didn't take any of those opportunities because his kids were still high school age. I believe that's passed now. So maybe it's more of an option now. But if he doesn't want the stress of being a coordinator, if Spags were to take another job, I think if Spags takes a head coaching job, I would think he would be more apt to take a DC job with Spags than staying in Kansas City.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure. It would allow him to run what he's comfortable running. He would get direct ideas from Spags on what he could do too. So that would be maybe that baby step, right? I can do this, but it helps me get my feet going there.
Agreed.
Jags out here coming out in 12 personnel, running the ball. I feel like ETN hugged that angle just a little bit too close to the offensive lineman. You probably could have sprung that a little bit more, but I couldn't see it from the other angle.
So I just saw an inside dive that went nowhere. Am I close?
Yeah, no, we are right together.
Okay. So I'm at 312.
309.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we're synced. Oh my God. We'll see how long this lasts. The Browns are interviewing Todd Monken. Why would you interview anybody other than John Harbaugh first and foremost? Because you're the Cleveland Browns. John Harbaugh ain't coming to take your job.
Correct.
I guarantee you.
Absolutely not. He's got no interest.
Hell no. I mean, you can't go from a top 10 team to a bottom 4 team. That not of your own volition. People go to Cleveland because they don't have another option.
This is a fantastic bunch concept where you hit Brian Thomas Jr. on a sail route. This is really well executed from the Jags. You guys, again, you're going to see it here. There's that bunch, but you create a lot of misdirections, a lot of switch releases. So Brian Thomas is that number one receiver on the outside. He releases inside underneath and then goes back on the sail route, which is that corner route. I love watching that stuff. The Chiefs aren't that bad at doing it. They just don't have the receivers to run that route. Like, they just don't let Rashee Rice run that route. He can run that route.
Yeah, they don't let him. It's not they don't have him.
Yeah,
honestly,
that's misspeak on my part.
And that bunch release, that takes coordination, that takes coaching. And for those of you who don't know what we're talking about switching, it's when you have an initial lineup and you have your DBs that have slices basically, and you're crossing them across to create separation by assignment. The defense will react with a banjo where they actually are taking somebody across their face or not. But it is a process. It's a chess match back and forth with those releases.
Yeah, you have to be able to communicate those or switch. We call those match concepts, right? If you're playing match man or man match or man zone, match zone, you have to be able to quickly process those switch releases at the line of scrimmage. So if you're staying outside and like Ryan says, you have to see what's happening. You have to be responsible to your eyes.
Another big pull from the right tackle here, getting out in space. This is something, and this is the one reason why I caution about Moore. Esapole is already more athletic than him, and if the Chiefs get in a position in this upcoming draft where they can't get an impact edge defender or corner that can come in and bump Fulton out of the way, quite honestly, then I think a top athletic tackle is probably in the making. And to me, that points towards Fano rather than Maui Noa, but I haven't done all the tackles yet. I don't know if you have a feel for that.
I think both of them are going to be gone. Specifically, if quarterbacks are, if we don't get Dante Moore in the top 10, like, I think they're going to go because they're getting tackle tax. And here's another one of those outbreaking routes, guys. We talked about it. Tootin just does enough, but this is a really nice job of Trevor Lawrence stepping out and up of the pocket. He's not out. It's those micro movements. So he's taking a little bit of steps to the left to buy him time to hit Parker Washington on that outbreaker off the play action. That's working the pocket. It's not always having to be drastic measures to get from one side of the ball to the other or to leave the pocket, right? So I appreciate that. What are you doing? All right. This is why watching football live with us is going to be fun. Parker Washington does a great job of going to make that catch, shielding the DB and then securing the football. And then he gets a quick out, and instead of taking where his blockers are going, he extends to the outside and loses like a bunch of yards. Like, I don't understand it.
No, it's an inconsistent thing, and this is why guys have specific skill sets. I've been holding this one, Dan. We get to gloat a little bit here.
Okay.
So how high were you on Puka? Every time I watch him, he's just unbelievable. We were some of the first in on Puka. We watched him at the Senior Bowl together, and we were convinced. And it just took coming around to him getting drafted before everybody saw what we thought he could become. Dan actually spotted him first because I think you were doing wide receivers that year, right?
There is a tweet. There is a tweet out there from the draft class. There is one out there. I have priors on Puka Nacua, guys. I wasn't like, I didn't say he was a day one or an early day two guy, but I thought he would be a good player. And it's what happened.
And you can go back and you can watch the Locked On Draft show that I hosted live from Mobile that week, where I said he's a top 100 all day long.
Yeah.
And if you don't like what he does now, he had already shown so much development that last season in college that I felt like athletically he had enough. He could learn to do anything he needed to. So yeah, we were very early adopters, Callan. So we'll drop nuggets this season too. Don't worry about it. Call me crazy, Carson said. Trey Hendrickson, 3-year, $75 million contract, 3-year cuttable. Pair Jones and Henderson to get Hendrickson together and would be insane in my opinion. He would spit Fag's system, or am I crazy? He doesn't really fit Spag's system in terms of length, but he's overcome that. And he is productive. It's just that he's going to be 32? Yeah, I don't think Veach would ever spend the money.
And the reason a guy like Melvin Ingram worked is because he was still a short arm player, but he played with power. Trey Hendrickson doesn't play with power at all. Like at all. So we can't, I just don't think he's going to be a fit personally.
Yeah, no. I mean, he uses his hands well, especially with the length of his arms, but he does not overpower anyone. Over the Cap is expecting him to be in the 25 to 29 range. Like, there's no way they can do that.
Can't do it.
I'd rather see them try to go after Jalen Phillips from the Eagles. That'd be my preference.
That's a fair point.
I'm just looking at the rest of the free agent group there. I mean, I do expect the Chiefs to talk to Boye Mafe. They wanted him. They wanted to trade for him. He will be a free agent. But I think the Seahawks are going to give him enough money that he'll come back. So I don't think that happens.
No, I'm with you.
All right. We'll take a minute here from the questions, folks, and we'll watch a little of this ball game as the fourth quarter is getting ready to start.
Yeah, let's say the fourth quarter starting. The Jags have the ball, 2nd and 6 inside the 20-yard line. Like, this is where it starts to get interesting. Okay, well, Parker Washington doing what Parker Washington does.
Yeah. What he lacks in decisiveness, he does have a way to squeeze in a few extra yards. I do think he does a good job getting his body vertical so that he can put his pads between some defenders.
And you see the quick realization that underneath defender is vacating space. So just stop and be available to your quarterback. Like, that's the kind of stuff that the Chiefs need their receivers to keep doing. Rasheed Rice does a great job of it. Xavier needs to start doing that more often. And realistically, that's how they operate. They need guys to recognize zone coverage.
Toss week is right here and you score. Nope.
First down. Just a little sneak. That's fine.
But come back to that formation, and as they motioned the guy over to the strong side and put the strength even more so, you saw the linebackers come down. You get Tootin on the edge on a pitch, and he's gone. You're not touching him. Opposite-wise, I would also come back and maybe motion the opposite way, bring the tight end back over to the weak side of the formation, and then run counter to the far side, and you're in too.
Yeah.
I think the lack of utilization of Tootin's speed, I think, is something that they've toyed with. Every now and then you see it, but I don't think they use it enough here.
Yeah, they did it 3 straight times, right? Before, and then they just kind of stopped.
Yeah.
Oh, can we stop the draws, please? Why are we seeing quarterback draws? What is happening?
This is inexperienced offensive coordinators, at least at this level, thinking like, okay, I have a man advantage by running my quarterback. But they forget.
I'm sorry, I'm not rooting for them. I said they were going to win.
They forget that this is professional defense. Yes, that might have worked in college. You might have worked on lesser teams. These are playoff caliber defenses, even though Bills are pretty weak, honestly. But that just isn't going to work in the postseason here.
Oh, here we go. That's nice. A hell of a throw from Trevor Lawrence.
Route on Benford.
Oh, yep, right. looks at his right first, doesn't like it, goes back to his left and pins it on Parker Washington, and he just makes the catch. That's how it works.
That's what all those throws that we've been talking about being too lackadaisical needs to look like. That's how the ball needs to come out.
And you see it. He didn't like take his time, but he progressively got through his route, his reads, and it's systematic. He worked the pocket, and that's the only spot your guy can get it. That is a perfectly placed football.
And the textbook going hands to the ball to protect from the defender, that is Washington at his best.
Yes.
Rather than some of the other things he does with the ball in his hand.
Absolutely. Like that was the
Tell me that's not Brian Thomas now.
I didn't see if it was Brian Thomas. He looked too big to be Brian Thomas.
Yeah, it looked like a 7. I hope it's not a single 7. Listen, sunshine is coming along. I admit it.
Yeah, I tell you, it's funny to watch the guys that have that super uber talent, but they're so inconsistent. And Trevor Lawrence has been that to this point, but he is getting better. And we're seeing how important having somebody that understands you and wants to work with you is. Liam Cohen wants to work with Trevor Lawrence. Right. He is working with him. Ben Johnson wanted to work with Caleb Williams and develop that talent. So just you can see it happening in real time.
I will say this too, and this brings me back to Caleb Williams. Trevor Lawrence was handicapped. They cut him off at the knees by putting Urban Meyer in that position.
Absolutely.
His first draft. The same situation happened with Matt Eberflus with Caleb Williams. So if you want to try to draw some parallels in these playoffs, that is one that Caleb's progression has been like a year behind because of that. And I would even argue the beginning of this season, even with Ben, was not progressing well enough. Now you're starting to see that come along. So I still expect that Caleb Williams can hit the potential we thought he might have back in the day.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Cayman, I just want to give or K Harms. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm leaning too far into this, K, to be able to read it right. Props to Ryan and Dan for answering questions, taking all the Chiefs future and simultaneously breaking down game. Thanks, K. Appreciate you. And if you're in the room, say hey.
Thank you. Ryan says hey.
I know he kind of got shoved out of everybody's mind, but do you think or what do you think happens to Felix next year? I hope Felix can make a leap. I will be pleasantly surprised if that's the case. I feel like Felix will be a non-entity in this pass rush. I really, really hope they can find a way to break through. He was always raw, and so I know he worked with Tamba some. It didn't seem to make much impact, in my opinion. So maybe he can get with somebody else and make that leap because he's out of time. I just don't see it happening, Dan. Do you?
I mean, he's going to be trying to make the Mike Dana spot work. Like that's where he's probably going to end up as the backup, if they don't bring a defensive end in, he's going to be trying to be a starter across from George Karlaftis. Like that's what he's going to be looking for. But he's probably the third guy, and coming off of an injury, I think he needs to lose some weight. Not his fault. Like just maybe 5 pounds. Just get some added explosiveness that he had when he was coming out because. This is it. You get 1 year now to see if you can make something of yourself. And he's still relatively young. Like that's not remember. He's gonna be 24 years old, I think this year, or turning 25 this year. So he still has a lot of upside within his reach, but he has to develop. So this is going to be the make or break year. I don't know what's going to happen. However, I don't think they're going to let him go, but I need to see something more than just his improvement in the run game. It's time to start impacting the quarterback.
Agreed. Looks like he is still 23 years old. So yeah, you're absolutely
so yeah, he's still really young.
Yeah. And honestly, he's in the same situation that Clyde was. If he was a second, honestly, I had him as a mid-second, right around. I think I had him at 55 overall. If he were a mid to late second round pick and had none of these expectations, we wouldn't have any complaints about him. Same thing with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. If he had not gone in the first round, if they hadn't been forced into taking a pick that was too early that they had to reach on because they couldn't get out of those picks, none of this matters. It's just about the expectation versus the learning curve, and that's why we had him lower than he was selected in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, I to be fair, I did have him in the first round. I will own it. I did, and I'm not going to ever apologize for like ranking a guy high based on their traits. The traits were all there for Felix,
Yeah.
and I really did think that he could have developed into something, but we won't know, I don't think. But that's the draft, guys. That's what it is.
Who's the biggest coaching fire you've seen so far? I'm still mostly shocked by Harbaugh. Lamar's a good quarterback, but whatever their incapacity to work together, I think you keep the guy who's gotten you so far for so long. I'm still surprised by it.
Hey, look, a toss outside and they get 6 yards on first down. Big shock there. Stop banging your head against the wall there, Joe Brady, and call the damn game the way it needs to be called. The biggest coaching fire is definitely Harbaugh. And if Matt LaFleur gets fired, it will be him next, because I don't really care what Harbaugh in that tenure has done in terms of losing in the postseason. He shouldn't have been fired because they sustained drastic injuries.
Yeah.
And they just couldn't overcome it.
I completely agree with you. I feel for them. They might modernize in the process, but I don't think they're going to be better off for it, to tell you the truth. Knicks fan, your thoughts? I would love to see Patrick put more air under the ball when he's going deep instead of always trying to laser the pass. I don't necessarily disagree with that. I do think Patrick in particular, loses accuracy when he puts more air under it.
It's the feathering I think he needs to improve upon. But honestly, if his footwork was more consistent, then we wouldn't be talking about this, in my opinion. And if he would throw it to the open guy instead of always trying to put it where he thinks that they're supposed to be, that problem for me is a bit of an issue. You have to have the ability to see where he is. Yeah. And if you're looking down the field and you see Xavier Worthy wide open or somebody wide open, throw him the football. Throw him the ball. Like that's me. But I also definitely think that if he feathered the football more consistently and actually worked on his pocket mechanics with his feet more and threw the ball from a real base and worked the pocket better, then I think he wouldn't have such an issue right now throwing downfield.
I really like that little motion drag to Kincaid. Because I do think it sets up that DB who is going to trigger downhill even faster the next time they come back to that, turn it upfield into a wheel, and I think you're going to have a big play on your hands.
Fantastic throw from Josh Allen right there. Again, another play action. We get that movement. He's going to his right, and then he stops, but he doesn't run to his left. He just manages the pocket, right? So he stops and he works his way back a little bit, just puts it over the linebacker to Dawson, knocks on that over route. That's what you want, especially when you know they're trying to run the football, quote unquote. So you hit him with the play action pass and you get that inbreaker.
Give me some. And kudos here. Knox doesn't get the credit that Kincaid does in terms of being an athlete. He made Devin Lloyd whiff on that jam right there. That was significant to that route.
Lets him get into a route because that's what you're trying to do. Throw off the timing. Oh, come on. You got to catch that football, Gabe.
You have to catch that. Hell.
And he's hurt.
That's your job.
Yep, that's why you were brought in, buddy.
Rich White, or Whitehead, sorry. You guys might have already addressed this. Have been out of the loop for a few. No worries. But do you think that there's any truth to the rumor that Patrick will ask to be traded if the Chiefs don't improve ASAP? No, there's absolutely no truth to that whatsoever. Will not happen. And if Patrick has his way, he'll never play for another coach. Sorry.
Patrick Mahomes bought real estate in the Kansas City Royals. He's never leave. He is him and Brittany are one of the sole reasons that Kansas City current exists. Yes. He's never leaving Kansas City. He's put down roots. He's not doing that whole thing. No, I have no belief in this whatsoever.
No, I don't know who starts some of these rumors. They're just crazy, and they don't understand how relationship heavy the NFL is. It's just not in the realm of possibility. This is great, guys. Love the casual feel and fun talk about all kinds of football. Well, thanks, Angler. Appreciate that. That's kind of what we were going for. Not as regimented as we usually are, although I will say, hey, check out Underdog if you guys want. There's a link down below.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'd
love that.
And if you would hit the thumbs up, that helps us as well. And as long as people keep showing out, we're only pulling about 200 folks in here today. I actually like the little more intimate group of people in the chat. As long as we can continue doing that, we'll keep doing this for you. I honestly am having a good time doing this because I don't feel like I have to hit every detail as though it were a cheat.
I don't have to take notes on every little thing that happens. I like being able to
Yeah.
just kind of talk when something happens, like this 3rd and 6. We're going to talk about this play because this is a big moment in the game. And 10 minutes left, you're down 4 points. This is kind of one of those got to have it moments. And let's see what Josh Allen does, because that's what this is been on him. This right now is a little bit on him.
Yeah, it is. Be super Josh.
There it is. That's exactly
And
what.
then leave him the opening.
But
yeah.
Did he slide too early?
He may have, but it's still giving yourself up. I don't think should cost you that.
I don't think it should either. But based on the rule, he's short. That's a challengeable play. In my opinion, he is short of the first down.
Run the play.
They did. No, they didn't get it off.
Ooh. Yeah, I agree. He did come up a little bit short. But I will argue the same thing. The effectiveness of that run was because it was not a designed run. Because you let the pass rush come around the pocket where you had the opening in front of you.
Challenge.
So Jacksonville did challenge. Well done, announcer Avery.
Get the call out from Avery. She's working on her color commentary career.
We're going to have to get her a headset mic, bro.
I know. We're going to have to figure that out for next year when she's a little bit older. But she can start calling games with us.
Game.
Oh, see, that's what we're going to deal with. So I think this is going to come back for sure. I don't agree with the slide rule that as soon as you give up your body, that's where the ball should be. I don't agree with that because if you dive, you're also giving up your body, but they don't bring the ball back. So we need to have a little consistency there, in my opinion.
I'm with you. Addicted asked, hypothetically, if the Rice rumors are true, what is the course of action and does that change the priorities of the draft? If you weren't with us before, looks like these allegations have been pulled back. We don't know any of the situation about it. And that's honestly why we hadn't commented until now, because you never know if any of this is real or somebody trying to get a rise out of somebody or whatever. It doesn't appear like this is anything. And it certainly isn't going to change anything. It would not have unless there were charges brought by law enforcement. So it was never going to do anything for Rashee Rice. I think he'll be on this roster, and I think it'll all go away. Is the head coach gone from the Bills if they lose? I think regardless, the Bills OC should be gone. That's the big question is, would leadership want to move on from Sean McDermott? I think they should not because, again, as we always say, who are you going to get to come in and upgrade what they have now? Now, I would argue maybe an addition of a guy who can actually be a full DC. Maybe that's a way to go, Dan. What do you think? No,
I actually have never been a big Sean McDermott guy. I think he is a DC. I think he's a great DC, but I don't think he's a fantastic head coach. And now this is more a little insight into my personal beliefs. You know, I was watching the Hard Knocks, and this is not how you should ever evaluate coaches, by the way. I didn't believe a word that man said. He couldn't sell water to a mule out in the desert. Couldn't do it.
Okay.
I couldn't buy into anything that he was saying, like as a football person. And I don't buy into him as a coach. I thought he should have been fired a few years ago. I actually think that there are multiple coaches out there right now, specifically offensive-minded coaches, a few of them, passing game coordinator, stuff like that, that would be an upgrade over McDermott as a head coach.
Quite frankly, if he went, I think honestly, my favorite candidate right now, just in general, is Stefanski. And you put him in that situation with already heavy tight end usage. I think that would be a marriage that would work really well for Josh.
Absolutely. I'm with you right
honestly,
there.
Makes me nervous as a Chiefs fan.
If they don't, I was about to say, if they don't hike this football, I was going to be very, very mad. I can't stand that kind of stuff. But it was 4th and 1 as we assumed. Josh Allen again goes left over the left guard, gets the first down on this quote unquote quarterback sneak tush push.
Jose, so to come back to your thing, I think probably not. Dan thinks probably if they lose this ball game.
It's not.
Coming back to Dave. Thanks for the super chat, Dave. Appreciate you. G stream. Love the comments. Taryn, how watch?
I think this is a little bit of text to talk. We got a little, it looks like great stream. Love the commentary while watching playoff football without the Chiefs.
See, you turn that Heil right in there. Oh, did I say something about a wheel going to Kincaid? I'm sorry. Should we go back and look at that again?
Yeah, we absolutely should, because I missed the play. I was reading
Okay.
I was reading Dave's super chat. Thank you, man. Dave's super
Well,
chat.
let's see the replay here.
All
I'm
right.
not sure. I only caught the end of it myself. Oh, look, yeah. Hey, here's a wheel route.
They just blew right. They just didn't. Well, what are they doing? They didn't pass him off at all.
Nope. He didn't even have to motion.
That's what it is. This is going back to what we talked about earlier. Why are you throwing the flats to Khalil Shakur? In the fourth quarter, you keep doing the same stuff, and those defenders draw right into it, creates the space, and then you have Kincaid kind of fake blocking. Sell it a little bit better next time, my guy. Please sell it a little bit better. But just turns up field into that space, and he's wide open.
Yeah. And I actually thought they'd go back to the motion look, but the result is the same. Is you don't have enough coverage to keep up with him there. So kudos.
So look,
Stefanski with these tight ends. Oof.
This is a really good understanding of how much Ryan talks to text, because it was a perfect translation on my part from Dave right there.
Dave, thank you for doing it, because I am terrible. I do it all the time, and he has to translate for himself to understand what the hell I'm talking about.
Thank you very much, Rennie. That was I there's some impressive. I was impressed with myself on that one as well. Thank you.
You're a beast, dude. I'm sorry I make your life tough.
No, you don't. It's just it's now it's a skill that I have, apparently.
Well, I'm terrible. I can't even read most questions when they're in plain English. So, Dax from the Netherlands. Hey, good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Good evening. So can you watch? Can watch you live at a normal time. Okay, yeah, semi-normal, right? Which guys would you pick up at 9 if those are not available, looking to trade down, I guess? Absolutely. And I've been, if you guys missed my mock draft setup from, I believe it was Thursday, it went up. Go check that out, because I ran 2 scenarios. I ran one that's just straight, no trades, and then I got absolutely, utterly crazy with trading every pick all the way down. I was able to pick up 12 top 100 picks doing that. So the reality will be somewhere in between, but that was the goal of the exercise, is what looks like it'll be available, what can you do, and there'll be a mix somewhere. Trade down is my preference right now, because I don't feel like the edge defenders that we need are going to be available.
I agree with you. I think that this, especially if Dante Moore does not come out, it becomes difficult for the Chiefs to get a player at 9 that is going to give you what you're looking for. And trading down a little bit, especially maybe somebody wants to come up and get one of those quarterbacks that's like a Simpson, or I don't know, maybe Moore does come out, but he's not what everyone wants him. I don't know, but it's going to be tough for them to trade down as well. Because of the quote unquote top of the class. That's just the realistic expectation, is that this isn't a top heavy tackle class, and the defensive ends at that point might be gone. Quarterbacks aren't there. How are you trading down?
So just to get this out in the
and
open, we'll be doing an RGR company retreat just so a rookie can spend some time with Dan and learn his skill set, because yes, I am difficult to follow. So Mrs. RGR is showing up. Way to go there.
That's funny.
There's a couple other questions here. I'm going to just line them up and we'll get more here, as we're under 9 minutes remaining at this point. And kudos, Dax. Hope you're doing well out there. I see the national pundits always trying to replace 87 in the draft. Is there validity to attempting to replace Travis in this offense, or is he just one of one and we need to shift gears when he retires?
All right. I don't know who that is being taken off the field. Looks like Gabe Davis's his leg is wrapped up, and he's being carted off the field for the Buffalo Bills. That's tough to watch in any game, regardless of the player himself. You hate seeing stuff like that. But to answer your question, Chiefs, you should never be trying to replace anything. If there's one thing that we all should learn, it's that you have to just draft based off your talent and your board. If you were going to a draft trying to replace somebody because of one thing or another, you end up losing that draft almost entirely, because you're never going to get Travis Kelce. You're never going to. So if you're drafting a tight end in the top 10 that isn't a Colston Loveland, you're
remember this. Travis Kelce wasn't Travis Kelce. He was taken in the third round. Because he was not developed yet. He had to come in and he had to learn. And quite frankly, as good as he got with Alex Smith, which was good, He wasn't Travis Kelce until Patrick Mahomes was the starting quarterback.
Yup. And then, nice first down play there from the Jags.
Good cut.
Trevor Lawrence finds ETN on one-on-one, looks like on a linebacker, just hits him in space, runs for that first down. You like to see that. That's what you want to see from Trevor Lawrence. Be more comfortable. He looks in control right now. Like, he looks like he's identifying. And the funny part about this is that Matt Milano was supposed to be their one-on-one running back guy, and Matt Milano got kind of cooked by Travis Etienne right there. Nice job.
Like me, age catches up with everybody. And by the way, Trevor did sail that previous pass.
Yeah, absolutely. He got hit. He got hit.
Did he get hit? Okay, I thought he was close, but
tried to run the ball, didn't get anywhere.
We're not shocked. You guys catch the Bears post game celly in the locker room? Pretty awesome. I did not see it. Did you?
It's great. Like, you see Ben Johnson, who clearly, one thing that I want to say about the Bears, that team has not once given up in a football game. Not once. They have 7 comeback victories this year, something like that. They were down 21-6 in the postseason. It looked like they were going to get walked on. They didn't give up. And that is the kind of heart for a really young football team, right? A team that kind of relies on some of the really young players. To do that in a first-year head coach says a lot about the culture that Ben Johnson is building. Oh, my goodness. I mean, he gave him time, but Bashal Tutin got absolutely demolished on a blitz here from Matt Milano, I think it was.
Did a job, though.
Yeah, exactly. He gave him the time.
Yep.
I don't care if you fall down. You give me the time.
And he even got him moving out of the side, out of the throwing window, which I think was even more pertinent to making this toss. But to have him give up his body like that, and then you sail it into another defender's hand, that frustrates me.
Yeah, it does suck, right? All right, this is a big third down for the Jags, right? 3rd and 8, 7 minutes left. Nice chip right there from the tight end to put Bosa on his butt. Unfortunately, it's not really going to matter. Oh, this is going to be what? A hold?
That's going to be PI. Dan, would Briningstool still be the best route running, pass catching tight end in this draft? So
no.
Up against this coming class, no.
No. Again, Michael Trigg is basically a receiver.
Okay.
He's a receiver. And that was a hold on Christian Benford that I called out. So the Jags will get a first down. But yeah, to your point, coming back to this question here, Michael Trigg is basically a receiver. Like, the nuance he runs with, he has legitimate down the field ball skills, tracking. I love Jake Briningstool, but Trigg is a better receiver than Briningstool is. But again, Briningstool can block. Can do more as a blocker. Trigg is giving you none of that. I reiterate, the worst blocker I have watched at tight end this year. Like,
that's bad.
The worst.
That's saying a lot. All right. Fresh set of downs, 7 minutes remaining.
Here's a blitz. Pick it up. Oh, all right.
That's under. That's way under.
It is an under.
You got to get your head around there.
Glad they didn't throw it, but it probably should have been a flag on Taron Johnson. Doesn't get his head around. He's just running.
Yeah, he's just trailing badly.
I'm glad they didn't throw it, because underthrown football should not be rewarded. But you got to get your head around as a DB too. Like, two things can be true.
True.
He couldn't really step into the throw, so I get it a little bit.
Honestly, I don't know that bit there at the end. Just because he didn't let you push him by doesn't mean that he was interfering with you. I actually think that's a decent no call now. Unless there was something early in the route that I didn't see.
Oh, my goodness gracious. You got to stop letting Parker Washington destroy you, man. I understand.
He ain't that good.
I mean, he's not a bad football player, but he is not. Let me just see here. He's just beating. Oh my gosh, that's why. Okay.
Oh, he turned him.
He's cooking those safeties. This is why I have in all of our mock drafts.
Look how high he is in his pedal. So when you're that high in your pedal, you cannot change direction effectively. You have to be down lower and get your chest over your feet so that you could pivot and go. That's a technique issue right there.
7 things.
Sorry,
7 receptions. No, you're fine. 7 receptions for 107 yards from Parker. Stop. Okay. This is what he's lucky he got yards on that.
Yeah,
but this is what I mean. You get a big play, you can't get cute. and then you go to the guy who just had the big play, so he's exhausted. Why would you do that?
It's just I put this on Cohen.
Yeah,
It's a lack of understanding, not just what you're trying to do, but your personal package that you're using to execute it.
Whoops, that's not how you spell that.
Okay, question. Is McDaniels at OC if he doesn't land the top head coaching a pipe dream? Yes, absolutely. Am I off base thinking the guy is the age and may want to an heir under Andy's guide? He will never coexist with Andy Reid. They do things completely differently, and Josh McDaniels still thinks he knows everything.
You mean Mike McDaniel?
Oh, I took this as Josh McDaniels as OC. Okay, but Mike? I think it is still a pipe dream. I don't think they'll mesh very well myself, but
yeah, I'm with you. I would love to see Mike McDaniel in Kansas City because the run game that he ran with the Jags, with the Dolphins. I think that was really, really inspired coaching on his part near the end of this football season to get that offensive line to do what they did. So I would like that. And I did see down here someone asked what round Parker Washington was drafted in. 6th round, a 6th round draft pick by the Jags. So again, talent can be found just about anywhere. It's up to the players to develop and the team to help them best in their scheme too.
Yeah, put them where they can do the most damage. And sorry, I clearly still have a burr in my saddle about Josh McDaniels.
Apparently, man, you are.
I don't like that dude.
He done something to
you. I know you guys are high on Bain from Miami, but where would he be ranked as DL in the 25 class amongst Abdul, Graham, Michael, Nolan, Harmon? Below everybody but Mikael Williams, I think.
Oh, I would have had him over Harmon. I think I would have probably had it. And there's the touchdown from the Jacksonville Jaguars. They get Travis Etienne in the flat. He makes a guy miss, and there's the lead for Jacksonville on first down there. So there's still a lot of time left in this football game, but right now it feels like the offenses have figured out what the defenses want to do, and we are seeing scores start to pile up. This has happened in every game so far in the wild card. So this is why it gets exciting. Now we get to actually see the play. Is this play action? So you got motion. All right. It's
motion away, takes that defender out of the box.
Man, there's so much. This is another reason why under center running matters. Why it matters, because they committed to that whole play. Look, the defense is going from right to left when you're looking at that play. You get so much motion, you create so much space that Travis Etienne, while it's a quote unquote play action play, right? Travis Etienne knows he has to just go. He can't wait for the mesh point. He has to just go and beat the linebacker, whoever is there, to their spot. And then he does a nice job finding space.
And what we talked about earlier, that was motion away, taking a defender out of the box. So once Etienne clears the initial tackle box, he's out there and has one less guy to try to beat. There's a lot of ground to cover for the remaining overlap defender. Just a difficult choice there.
Okay, numbers game.
So you'd have Bain over Harmon. That's fair. I probably misspoke there. I would still take Abdul, Graham, and Nolan over Bain.
I think I'm with you. I probably would have him pretty close with Nolan. I was a big Nolan guy though. So I mean, I am going to be doing a film breakdown on Ruben Bain for Wednesday, guys. For Wednesday. We are going to be talking about that. Draft prospect profiles are going to be starting here. So I will have a breakdown on him. By the way, if you guys did not see it, I had a conversation with Cody Alexander of Match Quarters last week. It was an incredible conversation. Just so cool that he came on, talked about the current defensive meta in the NFL, what Spags wants to do, some of the some of the play calling, as well as players, scheme fits, things like that we don't necessarily agree with. It was really a cool conversation. So if you haven't checked that out, please go do that.
Yeah, go get some. Guys, where do you expect Mahomes' contract to be restarted? Alex, I have had a theory for the last several years about the year after he signed the big contract from an agent friend of mine who thinks there may be a clause in there for them to get to this point where they can just tear it all up and start over, because they knew that the numbers would escalate and they knew they had Travis and I don't think they foresaw Bolton at the time, but they knew they had Chris and Travis who were going to eat cap. So I do think there's a way for them to restart that. I don't know if it's a true restructure and void years or if it's a tear the thing up and there's a clause where you can actually just start over. But I expect it to happen this offseason, especially with the injury. What do you think?
I don't know, honestly. I think the injury might throw a wrench into it a little bit, just because we don't know what's going to happen. But this was the year that both Ryan and I pegged for them to restart the contract number, to restart the conversation at least. So maybe we see what happens with the injury and we talk about it again next offseason. But it's a big number, right? No matter what, they're going to have to restructure it at least this year to create some space for themselves.
Yeah, I agree.
I'd also like to just from here on out, when the game's on, since there's 4 minutes left and the Bills are getting the ball, I think we're going to focus a little bit more on the game, you guys, not to take away from your questions or anything. But this is now under 4 minutes left in the football game. It is a 4-point game, and it is why we are here, right? That's what we want to talk about.
Absolutely. And sorry, I get carried away. I just put a few questions in there, and we will get to them post game.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'd also like to know in the chat, you guys, like, how are you watching and listening to us? Do you have a side-by-side with the TV? Are you still hearing the broadcast? How are you doing this? And that will help me design what we do and when we do it a little bit better. I'd love to know.
All right. So you've got, again, this is kind of like a bunch formation on top, but it's empty. You've got almost like H-back in the backfield. Just trying to numbers game, right? You spread offense, you spread defenses out. You let Josh Allen pick. What do you like best? And then you go throw it.
Watch 29, the safety angle there. I don't know who 29 is for the Jaguars. They tried to do a little deception there where they tried to walk him down as though it was going to be single high, and he bailed too early, got caught. And so what he was able to recognize is that it was going to be a too high shell, and that does change how quickly you want to attack it as well. Yeah. So keep an eye when you can on the safeties here.
Always moving, especially because we already saw that Campanelli wants to rotate safeties a little bit to try and get Josh Allen confused as well.
Whereas now's the opposite, where they go show two and they come down, send him down quick. That was smart.
Yeah, but this is what we talked about with the Bills offense, right? Why are we running the ball in the middle with the way that they've had lack of success with that?
Because they feel that they can do this anytime they want. Oh!
I don't think
Dion, you better help. Nope, I don't think so.
He got that. And this is actually a sticking point with me with Josh Allen and why the tush push is so different for different teams. He turns his back. What happens when you turn your back? The ball is now further away from the line to gain. The reason the Eagles are so good at it outside of fudging their snaps every now and then is because the ball is always moving forward. If you're moving your back, maybe he did get it. Okay,
just barely. If it wasn't for Dion, I don't think he did.
Yeah, no, I see it on that angle now. He did get it, but more to my point is if you turn your back, the ball is now further away from the line to gain. So that's something I don't like, and I see Josh Allen do it all the time. It's frustrating.
Yeah, he has more spin moves than Jeremiah Love.
Yeah, that's fair though. I mean, Jeremiah is like it's a button though for him. He can actually.
It is.
He just does it. And he's like, yeah, I got that. Josh is like, well, it's a little bit slower. It's just a little bit. Yeah, they got him first down. Okay.
I think they can do better with that graphic, by the way.
It's not good. In 2026, that is like not what I expect from an NFL virtual measurement. It should be way better.
Thank you guys for updating us. Okay, I appreciate that. Watching on YouTube, muted the TV. Watching on PC, one earbud. Rock on. Oh, Angler, you're doing a hell of a job. I couldn't make that make sense in my head. One on the phone, one on the big screen. Okay, cool. Rock on. And combatives, yeah. Boulevard IPA always helps. I sound much better when you're drinking. Oh,
they did it again.
Oh,
they did it again. They got a free rusher on Josh Allen, but the rotation and the safeties let Brandon Cooks wide open. Somebody just missed their job here.
Yeah, and that wasn't even a targeted throw from Josh. I mean, he put it where maybe he thought the gap was going to be, and Cooks had to run to it.
Yeah,
because of that rotation. Wow, that's what an experienced wide receiver will get you, folks.
But again, I don't think that's because of Cooks. I think that was just the defense leaving a space open, and Allen throws it out there. Like,
no, I know, but I just mean that Cooks had already bent it outside more, and was still able to bring it back in because he knew that by the visual of where that rotation was coming from. I think a lot of younger receivers in particular, once they're in the route, I don't think they're able to process what they're seeing in terms of body spaces.
You're not wrong. And that's part of the problem we're seeing in Kansas City right now is that the younger receivers on the move aren't as experienced reading defensive leverage as what Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid want. Specifically what Andy Reid wants. Not necessarily what Patrick Mahomes does, but the way that the offense operates, it's based on pre and post snap defensive leverage. And if you're having trouble like seeing that, so let's just imagine you're running straight, okay? And you have a defensive player on your outside shoulder, okay? That is outside leverage versus someone on your inside shoulder, that is inside leverage. And receivers have to make adjustments to their routes based on the leverage of that player. And we see this happen a lot in Kansas City with Travis Kelce, who's fantastic at doing it, and Patrick, who's great at actually seeing it, right? So that's the dichotomy that we're seeing with the younger receivers having to come along in Kansas City. Everyone's like, well, they're in the wrong spot versus running real routes. Like it's a very complex situation to be in when you're trying to develop young players, when they're trying to develop and your scheme is reliant upon reading defensive leverage.
And it's a skill that's acquired through experience. I mean, you can watch film, but it is a different thing to be at field level and understand where you're trying to get the visuals from. Pre-snap alignment is as important for wide receivers to be able to make that read as for the quarterback.
All right, so we know that the Bills are going to be in scoring territory, right? They need a touchdown. This is not field goal. It's not going to help you out at all. You need a touchdown here. Both teams have all their timeouts. 2-minute warning just hit. How do you see this next couple of minutes going?
I feel like if they're smart, they will run the ball here to eat some clock, force turnover timeouts to be taken by the Jags. I feel like the Bills put this in probably in about 70 seconds or so and leave the Jags enough time to mount a drive.
All right. Let's see. They got Cleo Shakira in the backfield here. Dump off to Knox. And this is where I think the rotations are going to be able to be helpful for the Jags. Not as much space to work with, right? All right, so they're showing the replay. Yep, that's exactly what happened. They're playing a match zone concept. So the outside corner did not get enough depth to go with Brandon Cooks. The safety comes down on that outside route, and that's where that match comes in. So it wasn't necessarily a rotation. It was a defensive match that they messed up in the back end. That safety or number 6, that corner, has to get depth. They have not run the ball at all yet, by the way.
Nope. I'm starting to have doubts, people. I'm starting to have doubts.
Let's start in 4. Who did the Jags just take a timeout? Probably.
They must have.
Yeah. Yep. Obviously, hard to overstate how big of a play this is for the Bills. You can't take a loss here. You have to at least have an incompletion to get something. Obviously, you will want to get a 4th and short if you can. I would imagine another screen or a draw in this situation. It feels like those are the 2 things that they want to do that they can succeed at.
I hope it's not a quarterback draw, though. If they go back to that well, I think they're making a mistake.
I would agree with you, but it feels like that's what they've done in the high leverage moments. It's been either a screen or Josh go make something happen. Hopefully it's not a draw. Hopefully it's more of just a scramble, though. My daughter is rooting for the Bills, by the way. Her grandfather is a Bills fan, so she's in a little bit of a dire straits right now. So,
you got this, kiddo.
Empty. Yep, that's what I expect. It's a screen, and it will be just short. Tush push time coming.
I don't know. The spot seems to be generous.
Do you mean candy cane time?
Even the wife agrees that it's generous.
Candy cane.
Oh. So clearly we're running behind here, folks. I hope those of you who have already seen the play. Yeah, just it's tough. And this is another situation where, like Xavier Worthy, Khalil Shakir doesn't have the body mass to really push defenders backwards when he's made contact.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with him getting the ball in screen situations, though. Like,
No.
I really don't. But he did not get that, by the way. He did not.
No, he did not. Let's see if they actually rule it there. It looks like they're going to rule that it is fourth down.
Okay, that's where it should be. And I would like to point out, I did call that. It was going to be a screen or a draw. That's exactly what happened. So it makes me feel good that I can still do that while we're talking about a lot of different things on stream. So I appreciate that. They're going to get this, right? Like, they're going to get this.
They are. And if they're smart, they have a tendency to put tush push left of the center. If they're smart, I think they attack
They
the
go
opposite
right?
side.
Yeah. Yeah, he absolutely
But they
got
don't
that.
straight ahead for the one.
Or they're just going to go score?
Down to the 1 yard line.
Wow. They're getting what? They say he scored? No. Actually, it might be
Josh
better
Allen
for
did not score that.
no,
Cyrus,
it might be better for the Jags if he did.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't want
Don't
him to score
challenge
here.
it.
You want
You
time
can't
off the clock.
Yeah. Wow.
Are you guys sure? I mean, it will be reviewed by the booth no matter what. So
Yeah. Wow, that is
Cyrus Torrance with the push.
and he's clearly down.
Yeah, his hip's down right there. It's at the 1, which is good if for Avery and all the Bills fans.
Yeah. I don't need to see this angle of his butt. Like, I really don't need that one.
Everybody's butt in my screen. That's not really what I came
just
here
all
for.
of them. Yeah, Raining, you're not wrong. The refs in this game have done a really poor job of spotting the football. Like, that's very obvious that he's down there, but
David, that's a good question. Should Jacksonville let them score?
yes,
I
absolutely
would.
should.
You're not keeping them out. I guarantee you that with 4 shots at it. Just let them in and get the ball back.
Yep. And you're only going to need a field goal to tie it unless they go for 2 and get it, which they will not be going for 2. Too much at stake in a football game like that if you allow yourself to have a field goal win the football game instead of it being tied. So
yeah,
I would let them score.
I would agree. I'm not sure what the discussion is here. They've made their ruling, have they not?
I think they have.
I'm still sitting at a picture of Liam Cohen, right?
Yeah, I am too. I think they're talking about time.
Okay.
They're saying probably about when he called the timeout, so how much time will be on the clock versus they put 3 seconds back on the clock.
Oregon, you're right. It did look like he was pretty much carrying him at that point.
And this goes back to what we were talking about with the tush push. Officiate it properly. You can't just take it out because, again, I think that this right here would lead to running backs not being able to be pushed by offensive linemen because I think this would be taken out of the game. And that's what I don't want. I
mean, and the key is here to maintain forward momentum. They are supposed to blow the whistle when forward momentum is stopped, period. It should not be dependent on whether who's in contact with who. If you are pushed backward, that should be the end of the play. That's when the whistle's supposed to go. All right.
But yeah, absolutely should let them score here.
Play clock started. Come down to 20.
And there it is. All right. There's a minute 4. There should be a minute 4 left on the clock. And Jacksonville will get the ball with no timeouts.
I can't argue with that. I can't say that was an actual effort to stop the push, but that was probably the right thing to do, is to let them in on 1 down.
They clearly let them score. Look at the linebackers. Yeah, they are letting them score. Yes, they are, and they should have.
And once again, they did tush push left. Keep an eye on that, folks.
3 straight good games. I don't think this one was exciting. It was closer for both. And the reason I say that is because both teams had to crawl back yesterday. Both the Panthers and the Bears had to crawl back into this game. This has been a back and forth game the entire time. So the thing about this whole thing right now is that with a minute 4, Cam Little only needs to get to the 50-yard line. He has 68 and 67-yard field goals on his resume this season. So if you have to land this in the landing zone if you're the kicker, because this becomes a very interesting talking point for the Jags offense if it goes into the end zone or if it goes out of bounds, right? You can't, or if it doesn't make it to the landing zone. So that this actually is going to impact a little bit where the football goes for the Jags. It's weird that we have to talk about this, to be honest with you.
It certainly is. I mean, wait, he did miss one, right? How long was that?
It was like 50, 55, something like that. He did miss one.
Was it? Okay.
I'm just saying he has the leg to kick nearly a 70-yard field goal. I've seen it. So
yeah, absolutely. I'm just trying to figure out how far he missed from. So, folks, this is why when you have a duo that's on camera calling a ball game, you have like 17 people in a truck managing the cameras, 4 researchers going, and everyone talking in everyone's ears because we can't pull all this research all at once.
That was a legitimately bad return, but from Bashal Tootin. Like he ran at the defender. Like he just ran at him.
Down.
Yeah, I didn't like what he should have extended it to the left. Like he had way more space over there. I know Brenda is ahead of us, but she's doing a good job of just giving us like onomatopoeia stuff.
Thank you, Brenda.
So I appreciate that.
You.
We're about to see what I imagine is not good for the Jags. Yeah. Interception.
It is not. Bills are going on.
Yeah, the Bills will go into the next round of the postseason. The Jags are going to be losing at home. That sucks. That sucks because one, I don't think Trevor Lawrence should be testing windows right now. Right, you're looking for open players. Testing windows in this situation is not your best bet because of this specific scenario. You got to find open players, and that's just he's not open.
No, he's not close. And that's the thing. These should be. You're trying to matriculate what. You're at a minute, you have 30, 35 yards you have to go gain. You can take checkdowns. You can take shallow routes at 8 yards and hope to turn them up and still make your yardage. That didn't have to be thrown.
Nope. That's another part of the Trevor Lawrence experience is the trust factor. He trusts Jacoby Myers implicitly. And sometimes that can't be in that situation. You have to be looking for the open man. You have to get into a rhythm first. So just you can't allow the defense, when you have no timeouts, an opportunity to deflect the pass and to testing windows in the situation just doesn't do it for me.
No, there's no reason to risk it. Tracy, thank you. We had a good time too. We got a couple questions we'll wrap up with. When will we start seeing Chiefs news, such as coaches, etc.? And that's really, I think, the big question. The dominoes that have to fall are the OCs leaving. We feel like 99.9% Matt Nagy is gone. So they have to start doing that. But if we don't hear anything this week, that most likely means they're trying to promote within. That's Joe Blademeyer. He's really the only candidate, and that drives me nuts. So hopefully we will hear something soon. I don't know otherwise. Dan, do you have feelings?
None. I have absolutely none. Unless we get news this week that Matt Nagy has a job somewhere. Like that's the only thing that I can really say.
Dare I say Chiefs Archie with no Chiefs factoring is almost better. Let's hope that I appreciate that, but let's hope that doesn't have to happen next year.
Yeah, right. We want to make sure the Chiefs content is just as good.
Yeah, absolutely. And that we have more of it come playoff season next year. Have you looked at Vander Ross from Toledo, Dan?
Absolutely not. A wide receiver from Toledo? No.
No. That'll be late in the process, folks. You guys have a question you've already tried answering, so that you're already tired of answering so far this season. Ooh, that's a good one. Should they take Jeremiah Love with number 9? Yeah, that's getting a bit past me at this point.
That one is. It's that one. And it's not because I don't love Jeremiah Love, guys.
No, it's not. No. Fish to fry. Knicks fan, I hope I never see Connor playing slot again. You and me both. Should they go after or retain Watson that means McDuffie can just stay in the slot, and your defense is better for it. Sorry, guys, surprised me. No worries, Brenda.
No, you don't. See, but you did it right. You did it right. As long as you don't say what happened, I'm fine. Because it could have been a big play for the Jags. They could have scored a touchdown for all I knew.
And there's a commentary. This is Josh Allen's first road victory in the postseason. That says a lot about the support that he gets from this coaching staff. So for those of you that were looking for Sean McDermott to get fired had they lost this, that's fair. Brenda, thank you for your support, and thank you for being an adult about the giveaways. More playoff live streams? Yes, Corey, we will be doing more. We'll see how, when, and where, and how we do that. I don't think I could do another back-to-back game right now, Dan. I don't know about you.
No. I mean, if I had like no, I couldn't do it right now. I probably could if like I had a little bit of a break, and but right back to back, I couldn't do that.
Yeah. Matt, appreciate you knowing that Buffalo, LAC, and Denver are still actively in the playoffs makes me ill. Good content as always, fellas. Well, thanks, Matt, and thanks for being a member and the support here. Yeah, it's a little difficult. Opportunities lost. But this is what happens, and it's the franchise's fault for getting their margins so thin where these 1-point games, if you get unlucky or you fail to get lucky, turn into a lost season. I mean, you almost flipped the season from a year ago just on the one score losses. It's just too close to call.
That's the thing. The Broncos did what the Chiefs did last year. They were fantastic in one-score games, and a lot of it comes down to luck. And sometimes when you aren't executing at a high level and you are relying on luck to win those one-score games, this is what happens.
Yeah. I'm just going to put this up because I do want to make a comment on it. And not interviewing for OC because waiting for EB to finish in Chicago. I do not think this is the case. I think the natural parting of ways when EB left was mutual, and I don't think they're looking to bring him back. If they run out of options, they would.
Eric Bieniemy left because he wanted to go call plays. Why would he go back through everything and be right back where he doesn't want to be? Like that.
Exactly.
It makes no sense to me.
Yeah. If you guys would like and subscribe, I would appreciate that. We will do more of these. We'll be back next weekend. I'm traveling, so it may be even iffier in terms of my particular setup, but we'll get that figured out. Probably aim for Sunday. Micah said that Mitch Holthus said that he believes the team will try to coach up and improve 2024 and 25 draft class instead of big changes. I think Mitch Holthus is inside the building, and I don't think he quite is in touch with what actually has to happen.
I like Mitch. He doesn't have sources. I'll just tell you that right now. And they're reporters. I love what he and Matt McMillan do, but they don't have sources. They report on what happens, and that's what they do. That it's okay. But he's got an opinion. He could absolutely be right about that opinion, but there's no like inside information that is coming from that. It's just a feeling that he has, which again, he very well could be right about that.
Yeah, Angler, be careful what you read because Eric Bieniemy has not been on the actual record about anything at this point.
No.
What has gone out there is someone else's opinion that said that they would welcome him back, which if you know anyone inside the building is not actually the case, or at least it wasn't a year ago. So I would be very careful about reading anything on X that doesn't come from an actual secured person. It's bad to watch footballs. It's bad to watch the Broncos offense there. D is great. Hope that they lose next week. Well, since the wife's out of the room, I do too.
Yeah, the Broncos offense is going to be disgusting, guys. I have no interest in watching that, and hopefully they lose next week. Appreciate the support there, Chiefs, Knicks fan. I also want to address this very quickly because, David, not to put you on the spot, but I think you're very wrong. Bad decisions by the coach earlier in the game to go for it on fourth cost them the momentum and the game. Good coaching decisions matter. The one bad decision cost them the football game. It did not. They had the play. They had the correct call. Trevor Lawrence diving instead of running through contact cost them that fourth down. It was the right call to go for it. It's the right decision in that moment because you know you're going to need scores. I don't think that, and plus that decision didn't cost them the football game. It didn't. Defense still played for 2.5 more quarters. The offense still played 2.5 more quarters. They had the lead at the end here. The Bills went and scored. That one decision didn't cost them. It was the right one, in my opinion.
I would agree. Not one play is generally going to do that. Thank you guys for the super chats here. What experienced OC would come into KC? Is it a demotion? If you're coming from a head coach role, a lot of guys have to go back to coordinator level. It sounds like Stefanski's getting some run on interviews. I don't know if he's going to get a job, in which case, unless you want to sit out for a year, taking an OC role is the thing to do.
Yeah, I'm with you, but some of it would be some of it is kind of a demotion, especially if you're a play caller. It would be a little bit of a demotion. So I'm interested in that situation. Experienced offensive coordinators would also maybe like to work with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. We don't know for sure that they don't want to. So, but I do understand that it is a little bit of a demotion. But you would probably be looking to bring in like pass game coordinators, wide receiver coaches that have that experience as well to be the offensive coordinator.
Yeah, I'm with you. We'll wrap it up here, and thanks, Duval TV. See ya. Don't need that crap.
Yeah, that was.
I
was
realize you're hurting, but too bad. Everybody loses, even we do. So we can tell you from experience. Let's see here. Can you help me understand why there have been so many ACLs and soft tissue injuries in the last 3 or 4 years? Not just linemen, but it seems every position. It really is a function, for the Chiefs anyway, about the lack of rest in the offseason because you've been playing these longer seasons into 20 games per year. Across the league, I would argue that it's a little bit more about what happens in training camp. And it does feel like the league as a whole is taking a trend towards less physicality in training camp, leading to, I think, maybe a diminishment of how much rigor you put the bodies through then in order to save for the regular season. And that turns into what I think is not as much joint stability, which leads to shear forces being able to actually injure you more readily in come the regular season. That's just a theory of mine. I don't have data to back that up, but that's how it feels to me.
Ryan would be the one to ask. I know nothing about that stuff.
And Sticks, if all it took was a headset, bro, I'd already be in the league. Nevis, thank you. Appreciate you. I look forward to you being here for the next one. Dan, you got anything putting on the smoker tonight? What's your wrap-up plan?
No, today's just leftovers. We're doing a stream for 3 hours and 15 minutes, and I'm not going to go right after this to making dinner. We're going to do some leftovers tonight. But you guys, this was a lot of fun, and I am very excited to do the next one probably next week. And like I said, we're going to aim for Sunday, so we'll see what games we get there. But this was a lot of fun. Ryan and I do a great job of bouncing off each other, so it was cool to be able to once again do that in a more elongated platform watching football.
Yeah. You did a great job, and thank Kay for letting me have you for this long. I know this was a long one. And Mike, I'm not here to tear down Nate. Nate's reporting what he knows. I disagree with this wholeheartedly from everything that I know about this organization. So maybe something's changed and Nate's right, but I'm not going to pin it on Nate. He's going to report what he hears, and that's perfectly fine. Duffy, sorry we missed you. The Bills do pull this one out. They will advance to the next round. We will see you next weekend. We will definitely stream at least one, and we'll go from there. Again, my travel will probably tweak some things here, but we'll figure that out. Thank you for your time and your effort, and all you super chatters and everybody. If you give a thumbs up, we'd appreciate that. Dan, say hi to the ladies, and thanks for letting us have you this long.
Yeah, guys, thanks for coming to be with us while we watch this football game. Playoff football is always fun, and we'll see you next time.
Sounds good. All right, enjoy your night.
Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more and subscribe to RGR Football.